if I do?
Covino and Rich.
Are you ready?
Honestly, how do I deal with you every day?
Get ready.
Heard all about it on the radio.
Get ready.
Whoa! Yeah!
Holy mother nugget! And holy mother meatball!
I'm the smartest man alive! You're so ridiculous. What? You're such a fool. Get out of here.
Oh, I'm a disc jockey.
What's a disc jockey?
Turn it up. Turn the show.
Here we go. Covino and Rich.
Let's go!
Oh,
Yeah!
I'm fired up. What would we do without Spot and his awesome graphics?
There you go.
Spotty Graphics 16. I love it, bro.
Thank you.
All 16 bits of it. And the special effects are here. We're Covino and Rich. Good morning. I'm fired up, bro. Actually, I'm fired down.
Hey,
Yeah.
you got me thinking about something when you said TurboGrafx 16 that we'll get to. We'll get to.
I said Spotty Graphics 16.
But I knew what you meant.
I saved the turbo for my weeknights later on tonight on Sirius XM Channel 41. Right now, I'm here to rock out on Patreon. CNR, let's go. Oh, my God. Oof, I'm agitated, man. Agitated, aggravated, irritated.
Well, when there's Covino strife, there's good stories, so I can't wait. But when you said TurboGrafx or Spotty Graphics 16, real quick, right quick, what was your progression? And then we'll move along. Because the only gaming consoles I had that I was an owner of were Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and then I was out of my childhood house. Like I don't go very deep at all. Then as an adult, Xbox and Xbox 360. But what was your progression?
My progression. Well, my personal progression, right? Because when I went to visit Grandma, she had like an old Pong set.
Yeah,
Pong,
yeah,
an
so did
old
my grandma.
yellow Pong.
The little, yeah.
It was one of my uncles. They probably stole it from somebody. And so we had Pong. But me personally, Atari 2600, so I'm that old. I know how to change the TV to the UHF thing, the TV to the video game, whatever that was.
I have that.
Yeah, that slidey thing in the back of the TV. So Atari 2600, original NES. Then I had Sega Genesis. Then I had Super Nintendo. Sega Genesis. I had Super Nintendo, but I didn't really dig it that much. I think I bought it off somebody. And then I had PlayStation, the first ever PlayStation, then Xbox, then Xbox One. And Xbox 360. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, I think we got them all through work. So, yeah, I had them all. But now, living with Jordan, I have like every console you could imagine. I just don't play them.
Gotcha. Now, I never had an Atari, and I think there's a lot of people that are...
Wait, so you don't know this sound effect? That's one of my best impressions.
No, I don't.
I should be on TikTok. I do video game impressions. That's right after my double dribble.
Blades of Steel.
So you don't know that sound effect? That's Pitfall. When the little guy is going over the... When he's going over the quicksand with the alligators.
But when you think about it, when was the big Christmas for Nintendo? Was that 85 or 86? Because either one of those years would be the
85.
ideal. Like I was in kindergarten
saw
or first grade.
A TikTok the other day. This is where I get all my material now.
Yeah.
And it was like, let's review why 1985 was one of the most magical years way back on a Wednesday. And one of those reasons was the original NES was available for Christmas time, and every kid jizzed his pantaloons.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it was mind-blasting. The original NES had more impact than anything in any other kid's childhood ever.
Do you want to know how much an NES cost in 1985?
I'm guessing $175.
Well, I'm going to say $149.99.
Wow, and you would be right.
Wow.
Are you serious?
It was exactly what. Yeah, it was $149.99.
It's a good guess.
Came with, as you know, Super Mario Brothers and
Duck Hunt,
and the gun, and an extra controller. So 2 controllers, the gun.
I know this sound effect too.
But it makes sense though. I had just turned 6. I was in kindergarten, and I'm sure Marion and Greg were like, "Oh, we should probably get him this Nintendo thing. It's the hot item." So
mind blasting. I remember going to my buddy Gus's house, and he was playing. It was Russian Attack. I remember the games he had. He had Russian Attack, and in your mind, you thought it was Russian Attack. No offense to your family, Rich, but it was Rush in Attack. But I think it was meant to be Russian Attack.
Well, we hated Russian people in the 80s,
In the 80s.
so it makes sense. I mean,
right?
That damn Cold War.
Ivan Drago was the enemy, and he had Top Gun, and he had Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and those games blew my mind. I had to have it immediately. There was no way Gus was going to have some cooler shit than I had. So, I made sure my parents got that shit right away, and it was life-changing, man. I was obsessed with it. I had games for days.
well, we don't need to go on for an hour about old school video games on a Way Back Wednesday, but I will ask you to simply make, with no thought, don't think too much about it, the top 3 games you logged the most hours on from any console combined. It could have been Grand Theft Auto in college. It could have been Mario 3 when you were a little kid. Like, what games did you log the most hours on? Top 3.
RBI Baseball, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and probably Zelda. Or Super Mario, too. Fuck.
I'm going to probably say Tecmo Super Bowl, which, by the way, underrated better than the first, and it's, like, fantastic. So I'm going to say Tecmo Super Bowl, Tyson's Punch-Out, and I remember being obsessed with Mario 3 when it came out. Maybe because I was so pumped about Fred Savage debuting it in the Wizard movie. But
I think you were just pumped
Mario
up about
3
Fred
to me was like
Savage.
the
Yeah,
most
I think
excited
it was just
spot.
Fred
Do you remember the excitement to get Mario 3?
Mario 3 was so cool because Mario 2
I was off that shit.
was like, it was, it was like more towards 1 than 3. And then Mario 3 came out. It had all the cool things you could do. Like you could fly. Mario 3 was the best.
Mario turned into a
Funky
fucking
world.
raccoon.
Yeah.
Don't you remember, though, that Fred Savage in that movie, The Wizard, wasn't that the best marketing ever? Because every little kid was like, yo, this Mario 3 and Fred Savage is playing it? That's fucking sick. It was the worst movie ever, but everyone loved Mario 3.
Yeah, I was off it by then.
Are we just talking NES games that we played the
Yeah,
most?
Spot. What's your top 3? Well, no, not really.
Because-
top 3 all-time games you logged hours on.
Because I would probably Zelda was definitely one.
Yeah.
Because but to beat it, you had to play for hours.
Yeah.
Uh,
Remember the Rich Davis whistle in that game?
yeah.
Remember he came flying in?
Rich came like swirling in. That I don't know which one of the Marios I played a lot. Probably 3 the most because once 3 came out,
It
you
was
replaced.
that good, huh?
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
I
I
know
probably
it's-
played the first one a lot, but 3 I played a lot, and then I'm gonna throw in for Sega. I probably played a lot of Sonic.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone
Sonic
played
delivered, but
Sonic
I'm
was
telling you, man.
was the Sega equivalent of Super Mario. So if you had Sega, you were playing Sonic. I also played a lot of Mortal Kombat.
All right.
Cove, you
on
said-
I got 3 more things to say. Go ahead, Rich.
You said RBI Baseball. I don't think I can name a baseball game because, unlike you, I played a little of everyone. I played Baseball Stars, RBI Baseball, Bases Loaded. You were such a
always
diehard
forget
RBI Baseball guy.
Die Hard, but Baseball Simulator 1000 was one of my favorites. I love that game. For those who remember that one, shout out. But 3 quick little nuggets before we move on. I got to shout out Tekken for original PlayStation because I loved, what was his name? Lei Wu Lung. That guy was awesome. My brother knows that. I played that game all the time. And Parappa the Rapper was life-changing for me, too, when it came out because kick punch is all in the mind. So
Yes, did you call?
Yes. And one last impression before we move on. Ready? One of my favorites. This is from the NES game, also arcade game, called Kung Fu, where you were trying to save your girlfriend. I believe her name was Sylvia from the evil Mr. X. And you would always die at the end of the level, and a guy would laugh at you like this. That's it, everybody. Thank you.
That's so good, man. That's really good.
Yeah, that's Kung Fu, everybody. Kung Fu. Yeah, I'm taking tips because I need it. Thank you. Cool.
I said I wasn't going to harp, but I got more questions.
By the way, to give this relevance, I know I brought up TurboGrafx 16 way back on a Wednesday. I believe this week was the 35th or 30th anniversary of a legendary arcade game turned NES game, Paperboy, which I put in a category of the most classic bass lines in video game music. Little kid was breakdancing. You're breaking windows. There's a dog chasing you. Anniversary this week. Coincidentally.
I was going to ask you just a couple quick categories.
Good.
Underrated game that not enough people played that you vouch for.
Underrated game, Wizards and Warriors.
Okay. I'm going to go with a game that was for Sega Genesis that I think Spot will back me up on because it sounds corny, but the Lion King game was so fucking cool.
Everybody has those corny games that were awesome. No,
you don't get my backup on that.
I had one, it was like Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle or some shit. That game was dope. It really was.
Well, you know what? No, it made the Sega Genesis Lion King game cool. Covino, they had the remember the Stampede in the movie where the little lion cub Simba's trying to like outrun the Stampede?
Yeah.
It was the first time I ever played a video game that wasn't left to right. Like you were like going forward in the game.
Like Crash Bandicoot style.
Yeah. So I was like, oh shit, this is cool. So I would say Lion King, and I want you to name the one game that was the most worthless piece of shit.
E.T. for Atari 2600. This legendary and infamously known
they
for
bury
being
it?
the worst. Yeah, they buried it. And there's a whole documentary based on that. All right, the biggest piece of shit game. Give me the system and I'll give you the game.
Nintendo.
Tag team wrestling.
So bad.
Bubble Bobble.
Give up. Yeah, it was the worst game.
Bubble Bobble.
It was the weakest.
I was also going to throw
I love
the game that no one ever really cared for, but they had it. California Games.
I know you love that one. Hey, by the way, track and field was a very popular game too back then.
California Games was fun.
Yeah. No one really knew how to surf in that game.
You need to switch it up every so often. You
Maybe-
couldn't play the same games all the time.
Maybe he didn't know how to surf on that game.
Yeah.
I surfed on that game. Actually, I don't think I
Sorry.
had that game. It was one of the games I didn't have.
Sorry, expert.
But I had lots of them. Hey, Franz, what's up, buddy? He used to play Tekken in high school. What's up, Archmage Frey, Stefan O, Tyler LeBlanc, Mercer Mann, TJ Miller. The after show Belater is on. Bill Jackson, Outside Groove. A lot of people chiming in already. Duck Hunt Rules, that's from Sheldon. A lot of people chiming in on the Way Back Wednesday video games that paved the way for us in life.
Reading the feedback. Battletoads for the win, whatever that is. Battletoads?
I've played
Friday the
Battletoads,
13th.
but I've never played Battletoads.
Friday the 13th. I agree with this. Might have been the biggest piece of shit for NES.
That game was the worst.
I don't think I played it. I don't remember it. But I'll tell you, man, my daughter will talk to me about games that are out right now. And she'll be like, but Dad, it's like $50 to download. I'm like, Melody, I get it. When Bases Loaded came out, I remember my mom came home in her work pants. And she took me to the computer store where they sold video games at the local, like a local town, like video game place. And it was $75 back then to get Bases Loaded when it came out. Yeah, that's a lot of money. So I was like, Melody, video games have always been expensive when they're hot. It's supply and demand, honey.
Remember when I was cleaning out my mom's house and I found the receipt for Mike Tyson's Punch-Out?
How much was it again?
It was $49.99.
That's back then.
Back then.
Back then. You know, Bases
30,
Loaded
40
the
years
graphics,
ago.
The graphics were so good. $75. I remember, like, as a little kid who didn't give a fuck, I felt bad that my mom was spending that much money.
Even like we said, the console was for NES was $150. That was a lot of money in the.
It was
for
No
a
doubt.
middle class family who was living off one pizza in the 80s. That was a lot of money.
No doubt.
I got to say, EJ Reed hitting us up with a good one. Top 3 games have to be NBA 2K, Madden, and Grand Theft Auto. I remember playing Grand Theft Auto my freshman year of college on my roommate's computer, but like it wasn't a video game console game. Remember when it was still just a game like with a space bar?
Yeah, no, I do. But I was actually a voice on 3 or 4 of those games, and I never played any of them. I have them though still.
You're right, Rich. Tecmo Super Bowl, most underrated game of all time.
I think
Tecmo Bowl was great.
I think it's funny though that the two of you, your gaming froze in like 1989.
It froze because I fell in love with women. Here's how it happened. I have a clear,
women and gaming don't mix.
I have a clear memory, right? Me and my friends, my buddy Scotty Barnes, we'd come by. They'd all hang out. I remember playing like Marble Madness, right? I've told the story. And in Marble Madness, what made it different
Quick story.
was you were able to put a name into, hey, player 2, Steve C is up. So I'm up there. Hey, Steve C's turn. Player 3, Barno's ready, right? You could enter your names.
Yeah.
So we would enter our names, and our names went from like Stevie C and Barno to like Jen's titties.
That's how you knew.
Our minds were shifting like drastically at like 14. So like at 14, it went from, you're playing Marble Madness with just intent of winning to like, you're not really caring about Marble Madness. You're talking about the hot chicks you're trying to get with in that moment. And honestly, my gaming interests went from here to like last of my priorities because dating that girl was everything to me. I was solely motivated in a totally different way after that. So yeah, I stopped caring about wrestling, baseball cards, and video games. They all went back into the back burner.
Let me tell you something.
That's the truth.
You just mentioned something, and it ties to a conversation we had a week ago. So if you don't mind me throwing you a little split finger, Ohtani style, Stroman style, getting the win for the Mets last night. Last week we talked about regrets. Like
I can't let you say all that and not mention Garrett Cole, who had over 13 strikeouts yesterday.
Yeah, he dominated.
Yeah, okay, so go ahead.
I'm excited that baseball's back. Believe it or not, last year, I have to admit, I was so checked out because of the shortened season, the no fans, everything that I watched, but not really. Like, I'm in it now. I got the MLB thing on my phone, so I'm able to just watch a Mets game casually, which is great. So a couple weeks ago, you talked about regrets and, hey, what career decisions do you sort of wish you made differently? I thought about that more, and it ties into what we're talking about now, so I'm not just totally going off on a tangent. Nothing to do with our show, nothing to do with Hits One or Z100 or any of my career moves. 2 things I was so passionate about that I gave up on because I thought I was growing up. I should never have gave up on because they're as popular now more than ever. Wrestling and video games. If I was an expert on wrestling and video games, I'd have more work right now. Like I gave up on wrestling. Meanwhile, I could have been a fucking wrestling announcer. I gave up on video games. The gaming culture only grew and grew and grew. So I feel like gaming and wrestling were 2 things I'm putting you behind me when I should have said, I'm fucking embracing you and becoming a man boy.
I don't think it was a conscious decision for me because I genuinely loved both things. Gaming especially.
But
I just gradually and genuinely grew out of that.
Dude,
because my interests
You chose
shifted.
to. You chose
No,
to
it
grow
wasn't.
out
Yeah,
of
it wasn't
it.
a choice. I had no interest in hanging out with like my doofy friends playing fucking Excite Bike and making courses anymore when like girls were getting hotter than ever, and I was fully motivated.
I was more worried about making money and radio and girls and dating and drinking and partying. But the reality is, when I was up until the time I was a teenager, I can guarantee you, I was like more obsessed with WWF, now WWE wrestling, more so than fucking Mike Durbin, Sam Roberts, any of these people you know. I was a fanatic.
More than Chris Rucker and Marty? I don't think so.
Honestly, talk to Chris Rucker, Marty,
possible.
Mike Durbin, those guys that are our friends and listeners of our show that are wrestling fans. They know that old school wrestling, I can't be stumped. It's just on a dime. It's like one day I decided, I'm sort of done with wrestling. Honestly, I don't know what it was. And I think about it. I'm like, I probably would have been working for the WWE at some point, just doing some type of
If you
commentary.
think hard enough, if you put your finger on your head and say, Hum Nam Shivai, Hum Nam Shivai, Hum Nam Shivai, you might remember the moment as clear as I remember playing Marble Madness. That was like my exit game. Marble Madness. That was the last of the hurrah. Like, yeah, guys, come by. We're gonna have a little Marble Madness tournament, which was a game on NES. That was the last shit. Remember, you don't remember your last moments? That was like my last moment. After that, I think I had a girlfriend, and that was the end of Marble Madness and the end of my gaming career until I got other systems that I really didn't care about as much. It's the truth.
Do you know how I get excited about gambling on football Sunday?
You get excited, but you're no Moneyline Monaco.
I love that guy.
He deserves credit. He's a force of nature.
You know how in my pervy days when I would circle a bar looking at asses like a lunatic?
Yes.
Picture me.
That's how you felt about Hulk Hogan's ass?
Picture me at a Mets game if they make the playoffs.
That's how you felt about Ray Knight?
In the most excitable things you could picture me in. A Mets playoff game, surrounded by ass, or like gambling on a football Sunday. I'm telling you, I was that passionate about wrestling. And I think there was a point where I was like, yeah, I'm not going to watch that pay-per-view because I'm maybe like hanging out with my girlfriend. I was like, sorry, wrestling. You take a backseat to me possibly getting my wiener touched.
Wrestling was so low budget back then, man. Before it was really even mainstream, I used to collect wrestling cards. I don't even know how or why. Because I was into it too. Not as maniacal and fanatical as you, right? Because I feel like you were like the type of kid that ate paint chips and was a little hyperactive and weird. Like Rich is fanatical, like a fanatical little nervous ninny kind of kid.
Gamers are making millions and wrestling's $1 billion industry. And I said, no, I'm going to grow up. Thank God I didn't totally grow up.
We all made missteps. A lot of us made missteps in that region of life. Because again, work and women, it's the downfall. I'm going to get into that later. I'm going to get into that later too. Shifted gears in our minds. But I used to collect those cards, and I used to feel like they were a little X-rated for me as a kid because, you had the Elizabeths and the women of wrestling in your deck. You know how hot Fabulous Moolah was back then. But you'd get a lot of pube action. Like, they were so raw and raunchy back then and low budget. If you collected the cards, if people were grabbing somebody by the singlet in a weird way, you saw nothing but late 70s, early 80s La Bouche.
I mean, what are you talking about? Like when you were a little boy and like Bruno Sammartino was a wrestler?
No, not that far back. Like early, Piper, Hogan days.
I don't remember what you're talking about at all.
I used to collect a lot of the cards, and there was seemed to be no filter of pubes were okay. That's just how people are. There was lots of hair and pubes on my cards. I'm like, yo, is this an error card because it has this lady's pubes sticking out the sides. For real, man. I'm not even kidding you. These are weird memories I have. I wish I still had those cards. I'd show you. I think I do somewhere. I didn't throw away my cards. But I used to collect wrestling cards, the toys, obviously, thumb wrestlers. The ring was life-changing. But, yeah, I mean, we're approaching the anniversaries of a lot of these things. Like I mentioned, can you please, for fact checks' sakes, Paperboy turned 35 this week. 30 or 35? I'm so confused on my years now because I feel like 1990 was 20 years ago. Right? Isn't that how the saying goes? Time's flying, bro. I'm fucking hating it. I hate every minute of seeing everybody I know get older, except for me.
Yeah,
April
1985.
April 1985, Paperboy came out.
Holy shit!
How many years ago? 35.
36.
36 years ago. No, it's 35. Because why would they be celebrating 36 years?
You probably saw an old article.
No, I remember looking at the date.
You want me to do the math for you?
Yeah, it is 30. Okay, fine. Hey, it's the anniversary of Paperboy. So think about that. It's almost 40 years old, that fucking game. That game you played at the bowling alley.
I need to do a quick Dickie screen share.
All right.
Can I shout out Photon, too, since we're on this path? Because I played many of arcade games at Photon and Showbiz Pizza Place for the win.
My buddy Jeff hit me up with this the other day. He said, I'm going through some old stuff. Do you remember collecting these? And he hit me up with these old wrestling cards. And I was like, of course I do.
Look at your uncle on the far right. He was dangerous.
Dangerous Danny Davis.
Yeah, I was collecting Hulkster before that, Rich. Before these names were famous. I just happened to collect them. That's
what I'm telling you then. You're talking about wrestling before no one watched it.
Yeah. And again, I promise you this is true. A lot of people will debate this. Your parents didn't even know if wrestling was real or fake or not. They assumed, they were like, yeah, it's fake, I think. You didn't know if it was fake or not. They stuck with those gimmicks. And they led you to believe that it was real. That's how it was.
Do you remember I've told you guys how for my 6th grade birthday party, I was allowed to bring a few friends to a wrestling event at Nassau Coliseum?
Yeah.
I found the photos. Identify this wrestler. I'm in the front row, so let's see if you could identify this wrestler. Who is that, Cove?
Yeah, it looks like Rick Rude.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Is that
But he looks a little beefy for Rick Rude.
that pose?
Rick Rude? No way. Come on.
That pose is very ravishing.
It's a ravishing
bro.
pose.
Is that
Come on, bro.
He's posing like Jesse the Body.
He's taking off his bow tie.
Oh, his bow tie? So it's Brutus the Barber.
How do you not know who that is?
Who is it? Brutus the
Does
Barber.
he need to
Beefcake.
spray you with arrogance in your face
That's
for you to
Rick
realize
Martel?
it's Rick the Model
Because it
Martel?
looks like a guy with a mustache. From
Dude,
what I'm looking at, it's a blurry ass picture. That
That's
does
a
not
horrible
look like
photo.
Rick Martel.
I'm disappointed in you. All right, let me give you one more. By the way, that looks exactly like him, which proves
Does it
that
look
you
like
don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know who Rick Martel is. You just said spray me with arrogance. I know exactly who Rick Martel is. Doesn't look like him to me. But I know he wore a bow tie. That's Brother Love.
That's Brother
There
Love.
you go.
Yeah.
That I know.
I love you.
Well, hey, throwing it back on a Wednesday, way back Wednesday. Wrestling. If we would have stuck with it, who knows? I could have been the next Mean Gene Okerlund.
It shouldn't be a regret. It's just a misstep, as we discussed last week. You make some missteps along the way. I hold those memories near and dear, and I'll never deny my love for either one of those things. But I was hardcore, like parkour, into NES especially. All right. And a shout out to my first ever game played on any home television, Commando Raid for the Atari 2600 lovers. All right, so welcome to our
great
Patreon,
feedback.
guys.
People also want to know, Spot, do you permanently dress like the guy that works at the front desk at the gym?
Yeah, it's my new look.
Swipe your card. All right, cool, man. See ya. You
Sorry,
throw
we-
people towels.
Sorry, I can't hold it. I can't touch your stuff anymore. So you got to swipe it yourself. Towels are over there. The showers aren't in use right now, but like you could shower at home.
You know,
Yeah.
you bring up something interesting.
Don't bring that funk here.
This was the start of my annoying day. I immediately was aggravated from the moment I stepped out of bed because I think of what am I going to throw on today? And I realized I have a missing shirt, which baffles me and boggles me. Spot doesn't care. He doesn't even wear sleeves. He's been missing sleeves for 2 months now.
I don't know where they went.
He's been missing all of his sleeves and doesn't even
I
care.
don't know where my sleeves went.
I realized that
I look at my closet.
I
no
have
sleeves.
a shirt. See this shirt I'm wearing, Rich? I have it in burgundy, like in a dark maroon. What a maroon, like a burgundy. It's fucking magically gone. And I didn't realize it till I was looking for it this morning. I was like, where did it go? So I went with the blue version of this, but now I'm going to go on a relentless hunt to retrace my steps when I get home later to figure out where the fuck the matching pair to this one is. Where's the burgundy one? It's gone. Poof, just like that. Gone. Hate that feeling.
Let me throw something out there. Number one, getting a lot of feedback. Mario 2 sucked. It was garbage. Spot's right. It never went with the whole series.
Talking about you could go underwater.
Let's see. NBA Jam, hands down. I know it's an arcade game, guys, but NBA Jam needs a shout out. That's 908, your hometown of Jersey.
That was a good arcade game for me.
What about Mega Man, Covino? Do you give Mega Man props?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I was a Contra guy though.
Can I
saw
tie
that
this
game like
into
20 times.
Can I tie this into one more sort of throwback conversation? And then I have an update about my mom.
Oh.
I have a thought about money, and I want to talk about presenting your penis.
Sure. I mean, dive right into it. It's getting late early.
I want to hear about your penis.
I didn't plan on talking about video games, but I'm glad we did.
Yeah, me too.
Not sure what happened there.
By the way, I love that Tom Brady finally admitted, by the way, that he was hammered at the celebration.
I mean, obviously, yeah.
He needed to
have to
wait.
say anything.
Yeah,
We all knew. It was
he needed
okay.
to admit that.
Yeah. Everybody fucking knew it.
He was day
No,
drinking
but
on a
Spot,
boat
he
in
went on
Florida.
Good Morning. He went on Good Morning America with Michael Strahan, who, by the way, we were all right. Strahan did not fix the gap. It was an April Fool's joke last week. If you didn't catch the update, so it was a trick.
What do you mean we were right? You thought he was real.
No, we debated whether or not he did it. I didn't think it was real. We all debated that. Why would he get rid of his signature look? But maybe he did. Like, yeah, I don't think anyone knew either way. So Tom Brady admits that he was, quote, I was hammered. I was hammered. So there's a list that sort of goes along with what we're talking about, like old school stuff. And why not on a Way Back Wednesday? We won't throw it back tomorrow. We'll way back it today. There's a list on BunkFeed that says 23 things basically every millennial grew up with that today's kids know nothing about. Now, keep in mind, we're a little older than 40. Millennials are late 30s now, early to late 30s. So millennials are in their 30s, which explains a lot that's going on in the world. But millennials are not young anymore. So when you reference some young kid, you're not referencing a millennial. And I think a lot of people still make that mistake. Do you agree?
I do. Speaking of, Rich, do you feel like Willie Nelson's been the same age your whole life? Because Kristen Nielsen posted that, and I said, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think so.
He was like 105 when we were little.
Yeah. I think it's weird to think Snoop Dogg's a grandpa. And do you see Snoop Dogg dressed up like Buzz Lightyear for his grandkids?
Bro, I got friends I went to high school with that are grandpas.
Spot,
Charleston,
could you
West
please
Virginia
Google
is a grandpa.
image Snoop Dogg as Buzz Lightyear for his grandkids' birthday party? People are saying Snoop Dogg dressed as Buzz Lightyear would make your shitty day feel better.
Can't be worse than when I was Buzz Lightyear, but continue.
I mean, that is true. You were the worst Buzz Lightyear.
We all know. So continue.
These are 23 things millennials grew up with that younger kids don't know about now. Hey, look at Snoop.
Yeah. Even he looks better than I did when I dressed as Bunk Lightyear. He's only, 49, I think. I looked it up recently.
Snoop Dogg.
I gotta see. Hold on. I gotta pull up
the things that millennials, and by the way, we relate more to a millennial now than a younger person. So you're sort of close to millennial status because millennial means, 30-year-old now. Number one, there's sort of like screen captures of people not realizing what old things are. A younger kid asking, what the fuck is, quote, burning CDs mean?
Yeah, how do you explain that?
Yeah,
Well,
a
you
younger
see-
kid would have no clue what it means to burn a CD.
Right.
CD players in general. This person saying my Gen Z niece thought my CD Walkman was a small Roomba.
It's funny seeing how these kids, not as funny as this, us on Halloween at ESPN a few years ago. But yeah, kids don't know how to operate these things. A lot of times you'll see on the internet, like, yeah, try to figure out how this works. They don't have any idea.
I have a CD player in my car, right? I have a
I find it so retro and old school because you have such an older car that Spot on the floor of Spot's passenger seat. I'm like, what am I? Spot, can I move this? He goes, oh yeah, just move that. It's my CD case. I go, all right, 1998.
Honestly, it's probably from 98 because all the CDs, it's a time capsule of 1998 music.
Well, your car's what, an 06, right?
It's an 06, so it probably is one of the last years before they moved over to, like, I don't know, digital stuff. I don't know when they stopped putting CD players in cars. No, my 2012 had a CD player, so it's that like, yeah, and I wanted to replace it, but I'm like, I have all these CDs. Why am I going to spend like six bills on getting a new radio? Let me just fucking.
Yeah, I like it. It's cool.
Yeah, it's kitsch.
You know what we did the other day? We put on an old Third Eye Blind CD.
Yeah, it was great,
and it was awesome. Yeah, because when's the last time you listened to the
whole album?
Losing oh yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, you
Hey,
haven't
Spot,
heard that shit from the beginning in fucking 25 years.
Yeah.
Spot, Google this so we can so people can play along if they're on tier 2 and just scroll along with the article. That way we can zip through it. But it is interesting to think that things that seem not long ago to you and I are so foreign. Spot, it's 23 things basically every millennial grew up with that today's kid apparently have no idea about. Number one was, what the fuck is burning CDs? Number two, this girl's niece asked if the CD Walkman was a mini Roomba. Number three on the list was this 9-year-old. Yeah, there you go. That's the one. My 9-year-old sister just asked me what this is.
Oh, no.
She was shocked when I told her that's how we used to watch movies. She had no clue. She looked at a cassette, a VHS tape, like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, Legends of the Fall. That's a good movie.
If you go to an older place and there's an outlet on the wall where the phone cord would go into, a kid would be like, what is that for?
Don't all places have those? I assume. Like, Rich, are you going to have that installed in your house?
Why the fuck would I have a phone outlet installed in my house?
What if you need a hard line?
Yeah, I don't know.
So your new house is not going to have a hard telephone line? That's
I don't think. Why would it though?
mind blown.
By the way, Pop 2K Rich Davis, you're really letting down radio legends like Spider Harrison when you started the countdown with number one.
I mean, it's a list. It's
Just
not
saying.
a countdown.
It's not a countdown. It's a list, and they're more social media messages, so I can't it's not a countdown. I asked
Could have been a countdown.
This one was, I asked my sister's daughter, scroll down one more spot. I asked my sister's daughter what this is, and she said, it's a microwave, and it's just an old TV.
Yeah. I mean, his sister's daughter is pretty stupid, but that's okay.
My daughter asked me what this is, and it's a slot in the car for a cassette tape.
How old is their car?
Jesus.
Seriously?
Yeah. Everything from overhead projectors to original iPads.
Oh,
By the way,
projector.
Grammar school.
the iPods.
Grammar school.
By the way, Spot, the funniest part is number 11 on this list, the floppy disk.
Would have been cooler if he started in at number 10.
I get it.
A kid would probably think that that's just the save icon on like a document.
Right. And why is the save icon still a floppy disk? We haven't used floppy disks in 20 years.
There was a video on TikTok, Covino, where it was like, ask your younger kid or sibling or niece or nephew, like, if you were playing charades or you had to act it out, how are you making a phone call, or how are you doing certain things? How are you taking a picture was the one, right?
I was told that it changed. I was told that it changed recently, where you and I would do the cowabunga thing. We'd be like, yo. But now a younger kid goes like that.
Yeah, a younger kid puts their hand like flat to the side of their face like a cell phone.
That changed.
Like a smartphone.
It's fucking weird.
Where
You don't even do this?
a kid now would not do the pinky thumb like, hey, what's up?
They do a flat hand?
Hang loose, bro. Yeah. They do the
No
flat
more
hand.
like
Not
hang
even
loose.
not even like I'm gripping a phone
Nope.
kind of thing?
No, like hand to the face, yeah. And the other one was, Spot, simulate taking a picture.
Oh, this.
You would do like, you'd make like a, like a rectangle with your hands and do like click, right?
Yes, yeah.
A kid now just goes like this. They hold and like they're talking like John McCain.
Wow.
Oh, the pencil sharpener. That's a good one.
What the fuck's a pencil sharpener? Nice. Well, we don't need to go over this
Oh,
whole
this
list.
in the books?
Yeah, you see a lot of those things nowadays because everyone on TikTok's an expert or
This is
has
a good
fun
one.
fact or some sort of I'm this old.
By the way, my car does have power windows. Just letting you know.
I'm microfiche old.
What about the idea of
I'm card catalog old.
there was one on the list where the person said their kid thought an old $20 bill was counterfeit because it didn't have the huge face. Remember the old bills that had like the regular size face?
Of course. Of course.
So, yeah, there you go. I just thought that tied into if we were talking about old school shit, why not throw that list in there?
It's always fun. Way back on a Wednesday, Dickie Doodle Davis. Always fun.
When was the last? Do you remember the last car you had that had anything other than just XM, FM, AM, like satellite, a port for like your phone, auxiliary satellite, FM, AM? When was the last time you had a car that had a CD player or cassette deck? A decade?
98 maybe?
Maybe. It's been a long time.
Yeah. I don't know. I had a 98 Honda Accord, and that had to have actually I had that all customized and shit, but it definitely had a tape deck and a disc changer. Then after that, I had a car, I think, that had a CD player in it. I could be wrong.
All right.
But didn't have satellite until, 2009-ish,
Did you,
6-ish.
I remember my very first car was a 1984 Buick Skyhawk, right? And I remember my brother had an old radio, like one of the radios you put in with the cool face on it.
Yeah.
So I actually, in a 1984 Buick Skyhawk, replaced the radio, but it didn't have satellite. It wasn't satellite ready.
No, we all had the plug-in
But it
plays.
had the CDs.
But I had
I'm
a
like, oh,
cool.
that's pretty
My radio had a real cool
cool.
face.
The face came down.
Oh.
It was like, bzzz, and then you slid the CD in.
Spot, isn't that the car that Ralph Macchio killed the clerk with in?
No, that was a 1964 Pontiac or 1963 Pontiac Tempest.
Oh. Not a Skylark?
No. Oh, it was a Skylark. Oh yeah, maybe it was a Skylark.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, so
But
Rich,
I had a Skyhawk. It was different.
Okay.
since we're reminiscing and we have lots to get to, let me start off by admitting that I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong about something. I got to give Rich Davis props when Rich Davis deserves props, right? He's always the first guy to, that you want to kick in the nuts, right? Because he gives you so much ammunition to throw back at him because he says such goony things. But when he's right, you got to give him the props, right? It's only fair. Last night, because I didn't have much to do and I feel like I needed some motivation, inspiration, and because I have Biggie DeLine's HBO Max password, I said, you know what?
Cheap.
I got to check out some old school Rockies. I've been just for fun. And you've always said that one of them was your favorites. And I was always like, nah, I don't think so.
That's my favorites.
And watching yesterday, I admit Rich is right. Rocky 2 is the best Rocky of all of them.
Wow.
Yeah, Rich is right. And we don't need to harp on why. It just is. It covers so many things. It's a sequel, which makes it rare in itself that the sequel might be the best one. You know, it even starts with the ending of the first one, which adds to how great the second one is. Second one is fantastic, bro. And, you know, so many memorable moments from that movie that you forget are from the second one. Props to Rich. He's right. It's a roller coaster of awesome. You get emotional at the end. You know, his love for Adrian it crushes your heart. You know, the innocence of Rocky Balboa. And I did notice that he bought a studded leather bracelet. Remember we made fun of that? He's the guy that was all about it back then. Remember, yo, you got something for Butkus? And they give Butkus he got something a little smaller, you know. And then he gives him he gives him the studded bracelet. That's class. It's really sharp, right, Adrian? Yeah. But anyway, Rocky 2 is fantastic. So good. I mean, we've seen it a million times, but you think Rocky 4 because of Ivan Drago.
Well, let me break it down. Since you're giving me a little credit, let me break it down for you. And by the way, I love how last night Covino hit me up and he goes, yo, how come I always miss the line where Rocky's like, yo, Adrian, where's your hat? Like when she comes in the ring.
He's like, yo, Adrian. This is at the end of Rocky 1, the most classic, iconic scene that we have ever known growing up. Yo, Adrian. She's like, Rocky. Right? Rocky. She's running in. She has that red beret on, right?
And it falls off.
When she gets into the ring, she's like, Rocky. He's like, where's your hat? She's like, I love you. He's like, I love you. But yeah, the first thing he says to her after going the distance with the palo is, where's your hat? And, you know, again, like Rich, you pointed out, it just shows his innocence because he really is. He's just a big dummy. And it's a great movie. It's so fucking good, dude. The second one is so
you
good.
Know what? Here's the thing. Rocky 1 is it's an Academy Award-winning masterpiece, right? Rocky 1, the original Rocky. Masterpiece can't be touched. One of the greatest movies ever. Rocky 3 has a lot of fun because it has Mr. T and Hulk Hogan as Thunder Lips. A lot of celebrity cameos. Mickey dies. There's emotion. He loses for the first time that we've seen Rocky lose. He comes back, fights Mr. T. It's fun, right? Rocky 3 is fun. Rocky 4 isn't a great movie, but it might be the most watchable because it's so '80s Cold War training montage. Drago, Rocky, he kills Apollo. It's really just fun. So 3 and 4 are really just fun movies. They're not like masterpieces. They're super fun movies. 5 isn't as bad as we say it was, but
not.
5's the worst
But
of
you're
the first 5.
comparing 5 to some of the greatest movies.
Yeah.
The most entertaining movies. 5 is still really good.
But 2,
that's
like
how
you said,
that's how I feel about The Godfather 3. People
Yeah.
love to shit on
Now-
it, but it's still a good movie.
I mean, yeah.
2
But compared to the other two, it sucks.
Compared to the other two.
2 starts out with the end of Rocky 1. It goes into the whole like Rocky recovering. Does he want to take the chance to fight Apollo again? Remember, that's when he's doing all the Beast aftershave commercials.
He's kind of rude,
That's
Yeah.
when
That's when he's got
What
the
is
rubber
it?
nose on. That's when he works at the butcher shop because he doesn't want to fight.
Gazzo asked him if he wants to buy condominiums. Like, there's so many great quotes.
I don't use them.
Yes.
Adrian
use
falls into a coma, and Rocky doesn't want to fight, and then she tells him just win. Like, Rocky 2.
She says, "Come here."
Come here.
Oh, fucking great. And dude, when Rocky, the montage, when in Rocky 2, when he's going through Philadelphia and, he's a local hero now and everyone's like calling him out and the kids follow him. Like he has a parade of kids that follow him up the steps in Rocky 2 and he's jumping up and down. And, God, if you could keep a stone cold face and not let the emotion get to you in Rocky 2, you're cooler than me. I don't know. It's a great movie. We've all known this. I never thought it was the best one. I just didn't. Rich was right. I just watched the first one I know like the back of my hand. Third one I just watched the other day. I watched 2 last night. It's superior. 4 is just entertaining. 4 is the Temple of Doom of Rocky movies. Like it's just entertaining, but it's not the best.
Yeah, Rocky 4, super entertaining. Yeah. Rocky 3, super entertaining. But 1 is a masterpiece, but the best one, if you love all of them.
He's right.
I've said it for years, and I'm glad you're on board.
I can't believe you were right.
Rocky 2, when she, come here. You're like, if you don't want me mixing with Creed no more, we'll find another way. She goes, come here. Win.
And then
Mickey, then I love when Mickey does the, what are we waiting for?
By the way, Burgess Meredith is fucking fantastic. Like, did he win anything for that? He should have. Fantastic as a boxing trainer and as a character. Paulie is amazing. That movie is fantastic. And then the end scene of Rocky 2, like, how does it top the first one? It's just as good. It's just as good. Yeah. When his wife's at home for this one because they just had a baby. Whatever he says, I forget. Like, I love you, Adrian. It's fucking great.
Adrian, I did it.
I did it. We did it. Whatever he said. Yeah, that's it. Adrian, I did it.
He was.
My God, dude. Tugs on the heart. See, people who don't know think it's a boxing movie. It's not. It's a love story. It's fucking fantastic. Rocky 2, Rich is right. Rich is right. It's the best.
Burgess Meredith was nominated for Rocky for Best Supporting Actor, but
fantastic.
not for Rocky 2. Sorry.
He's fantastic.
So good.
He's great. So
very, very good.
You watch things, from a different perspective of life, right? When you're a kid, you're like, yeah, Rocky 4, Ivan Drago. You love that shit. You're a kid. You're dumb. You grow up. You're getting older. You're wiser. Your perspective's different. Rich was ahead of his time when he called Rocky 2 as the best, and it is. I always lean like 4 just for the entertainment value. I don't know. I always said probably 1. I was like, you can't beat number 1. But Rocky 2 is fantastic. Yeah. So I watched that yesterday just because, and since we're way back Wednesday, and it ties into my next story, Rich, and I'll make it snappy.
Well, hold on. Arizona brings up a great point.
Go ahead.
Rocky 4, equally known for the movie and its soundtrack. Rocky 4's soundtrack is what puts that movie next level. That's why Hearts on Fire, There's No Easy Way Out, like all the Rocky training music that you've played at the gym when you're in your 20s or 30s, the Rocky soundtrack, when you talk about the Rocky soundtrack, those are all Rocky 4 songs other than Gonna Fly Now and the Final Bell.
Hell yeah. And, speaking of the characters, Apollo Creed, Carl Weathers, so good in Rocky 2. And it did cross my mind. Look, everybody has their pride, right? Italian pride, Mexican pride, Irish pride. Rich, your Russian pride.
I rooted for Drago.
Yeah. does the black culture embrace Carl Weathers the way I think he should be embraced? Motherfucker's a G, dude. He was opposite Sylvester Stallone. He's in The Mandalorian, Action Jackson. Dude had class. Like, they give a lot of props to Billy D. Williams, a lot of people like that. And, of course, the Denzels of the world. Carl Weathers get the props he deserves?
I think he gets props, but I don't think maybe that he deserves. And I'll leave it at that. I don't really know, but I do know that when I met Carl Weathers, it was probably a top 5 to 10 exciting moment as far as like meeting people from our childhood. I was like, yo, it's fucking Apollo Creed.
I want you. Yo, Carl Weathers. Hey, some people have to learn the hard way. Dude, he's so good, bro. But he's so good, and think of how magnificent he was from athlete to actor, and how he transformed into boxer. He wasn't a boxer, and how convincing he was. Fucking Carl Weathers. So anyway, Rich, you were right. I can't even believe I'm here saying that, but I got to give you the props. And this ties into my story because Apollo Creed was what? The master of disaster. What was Sylvester Stallone, Rocky Balboa? The Italian
the Italian Stallion.
The Italian Stallion, right? He came in Rocky 2 with his yellow and black. Italian Stallion. Rocky 2. So I got to tell you.
What does Apollo say? Sounds like a.
Folks got to learn the hard way.
What does he say? Sounds like a horror picture or something?
Like
a horror movie?
He's like, the master of disaster versus the Italian Stallion, something like that. He's like, sounds like a monster movie.
Yeah.
Something like that. But I have to tell you a quick story. I'll make it quick, but it's sort of funny.
Quick story.
Because of the things I get myself into unknowingly, and it sort of depicts the Mr. Magoo, Charlie Brown life that I live sometimes. I don't know how these things happen to me. This isn't like a woe is me story. I have one of those, so stick around for that.
By the way, Carl Weathers was also Chubbs Peterson in Happy Gilmore. Come on.
Yeah, he was.
Come on.
I may have a total misconception, but I feel like other cultures and other people embrace Carl Weathers more than his own people do. I think he's legacy, legendary. I don't know. That's my own weird, like, I don't see him put on the Mount Rushmore as often as I think he should be on it. Carl Weathers. Dude had a mustache. He was like the Black Magnum PI or something. Love that guy. So anyway, and he was super cool when he was on our show. Jason Brown, Rashawn Powers, Kevin K. Diddy, Black Ice, Black Adam. I could be wrong. You guys let me know. I don't know. I'm telling you that Carl Weathers, from my standpoint, is a G. I don't know how people really feel about him. So, Rich, speaking of the Italian Stallion, right?
Yeah.
The Italian Stallion. You know what else is Rocky 2, by the way? There are two kinds of love that you ought to know.
There are two kinds of love.
That's Rocky 2. So, speaking of Italian Stallions, one day, randomly, you know Abner Mares, the boxer? The boxer Abner Mares. He's a Mexican, former Mexican champion, right? We've interviewed him a few times, Rich. He's like a super cool West Coast vato, right?
So are you.
No, this guy has really cool hair. His hair is always on point. Abner Mares is a cool dude, right? And he's always been cool with us. And since we've met him a few times, like, he'll like some of my stuff on social media. And it's cool because it's like, yo, I rooted for this dude. That's cool. So every once in a while, he'll post something and I'll respond to it. And he'll like the comments. So we have that sort of relationship, right? We're not BFFs by any means. So boxer Abner Mares, I don't even remember what it was. He made some post about somebody, right? Or something. And I responded. I left a comment, and some dude started hitting me up based on that comment since. And it was an Italian guy. an Italian boxing fan. So one of Abner Maris's supporters, he's a professional boxer. One of his fans, some Italian guy, hit me up and then started sort of harassing me a little bit, right? This happened like months ago. Whatever.
What do you mean harassing you, though?
He's like, he started leaving voice messages in my inbox. What do you like a clown? What do you, actor Steve? What do you know about boxing? What do you, actor? What do you know? What do you know, Steve? Steve, tell me what you know. Tell me what you know about boxing. I want to know. I don't think you, actor friend, you know anything. Right? Stuff like that. He just started to troll me.
Spot, am I finding this like already funny? Like the fact that Covino has like an Italian enemy that trash talks?
Yeah.
How do you get yourself in these
That's
situations?
what's really funny about this in itself. But guess what?
Who is this guy?
This takes a weird turn, right? This is a true story, 100%. I got the proof. So then the guy continues to harass me, but I could tell he just wants my response. What does my actor know about, like, Steve, you think I'm stupid, Steve? You don't. What you actor West Coast, what do you know? So I hit him back. Like, eventually I'm like, fuck this guy. I'm like, yo, dude, I'm not an actor. Don't want to be an actor, not an actor. I'm a radio TV host. And I love boxing. Grew up loving boxing. Oh, you love boxing, eh, Steve? Yeah.
Just so I have this straight, I'm sorry. You're just leaving comments like, yo, Abner Maris, cool picture, champ. And he's like, who are you?
Yes.
That's really it?
That's it. He came at me out of nowhere. But he found me. Like, he responded. And I knew he came from Abner's page. He responded like, what do you know? And then started leaving like messages in my inbox. So he's diving into my DMs with troll talk. But he's trying to have conversation. Like, this guy's drunk or bored, right? But he's in Italy. The guy's in Italy. He's 100% Italian, right? Steve, well, what's your background, Steve? Steve, he wants to know all about me. Like, he wanted me to prove to him that I know. I'm like, listen, man, I've watched boxing my whole life. I've interviewed Abner. I've interviewed all these dudes. So, you know, I know a little something about it. I'm a fan. I'm not an expert. I'm a fan, but I'm not an actor. All right, you cool? Hey, Steve, I like it. I came at him. I came at him back, right? And I won his respect. Then this guy, like weeks and weeks later, just hits me up all the time, like when he's drunk.
This is insane.
Yeah, this is funny. So I'm gonna try to fast forward because this guy, his name is give me a cool Italian Sergio. Hey, Steve,
Umberto.
Steve, it's Sergio, because I don't want you guys to look up like my correspondence. Hey, Sergio. Yeah. Let me tell you the problem, Steve. What's your opinion on Canelo? Right? And I'll tell him, fucking Canelo's great. Right? Let me tell you. Here's the difference between the Italian fighters and the Canelo. Right? Now our friendship's taking a whole different turn. I think I got him in order, Rich. I'm going to do my best. Here is a soundbite. Can we play a soundbite from this guy? Spot?
You hear what he said.
Well, man, it can't start from the beginning? Can I start from the beginning?
I don't know. It's your phone.
All right.
Doesn't matter how many hundreds of millions of dollars he has in the bank. He's so humble, Oscar De La Hoya. He still want to fight. Italian with hundreds of millions of dollars. He gonna fuck every pussy in Los Angeles. Every pussy. He gonna forget about boxing tomorrow.
So he hits me up with this stuff. Look, he's talking about the
then
difference.
He go to sleep another time, and then he going to the gym in San Diego another time. That's what you have to do every day. And of course, you have to have the skills, you have to have the talent. Yeah. You hear what the journalist said, Larry Mercant, 2002, when Oscar De La Hoya beat...
So what he's saying here is, right, is these Mexican
Are you translating?
fighters... Yeah, these Mexican fighters are great. The problem with the Italian fighters is they get the money and they're all about the pussy, right? So
Get all the pussy in LA.
So I'm like, yo, you're right. You're right. He goes, let me tell you, there's a fighter named Guido Vianello. He will never be a champion, Steve. You know why? He's too handsome. He likes the pussy, right? So everything. Now our conversations are all about boxing, but now puseta, right? And he's telling me like that's the difference between the Latin fighters, that they eat, breathe, and sleep and shit training, but they're sleeping on the good stuff. the pussy. Now, here's another message from this guy.
Sergio.
Italians, I always talk about pussy and food, pussy and food, pussy and food. How can you make an Oscar de la Hoya in Italy? How can you make, if you only own Canelo Alvarez, own Juan Manuel Marquez? How can you make? Tell me you, how can you make? If you only think about food and pussy, you cannot make. Food, pussy and money. Food, pussy and money. It's only they have in the head in Italy. It's only that they have in the head. How can you make Juan Manuel Marquez, Oscar de la Hoya? How? How can you make? Tell me you. You're an intelligent person, Steve. Tell me you, Steve. Tell me you, Steve.
So I'm like, you're right, man. You're right.
I mean, he's got a point.
You know, ever since Arturo Gatti, where's the heart?
I love food.
So we lack.
I love pussy. And I love money.
Pazienza. Right.
As a 100, you send it to me as a 100%. Actually, don't. As a 100% Italian, I can fully confirm that.
Dude.
Food, pussy, money.
Yo, so
That's all we care about.
Now, this is like, I'd say like 2 months now worth of conversations, and it's always about, tell me you, Steve. Steve. Hey, Steve.
Tell me you.
Hey, Steve. You have a nice face. You're a smart man. Nice face. I like you, Steve. Tell me you, what you think of that fight? What you think of Leo Santo Cruz? You think he good? You think he be the next champion, Steve? Tell me what you think.
Did you tell him you're only a quarter Italian?
Yeah, he knows exactly. You, my friend. You know, I know. He knows now. This guy, I'm like, look, he knows everything about me, right? Since we've been going at it, I'm like, dude, because I went at him, dude. When I went at him, I gained his respect. Now he wants my perspective. But here's where it gets odd, okay? Oh. This is why you don't play these games.
I come into LA. You have guest bedroom I stay in.
I'm going to play you the last few messages I got. Ready?
Okay.
TJ Miller makes a good point. This is the Italian Uncle Mac.
Oh, it is. 100%. I was thinking the same thing. Ready?
Rest in peace, Uncle Mac.
And by the way, he must love your perspective because you're Italian and Mexican. Yeah. So he's probably like, Steve, you see both sides. You're smart.
Did you tell him you're Irish too?
Yeah. Do you love Ricky Hatton? No. Do you love the Carl Frampton? No. Do you love the Oscar de la Hoya? Yes. Do you love Vinny Pazienza? Yeah. Uh-huh. I like you, Steve. I like you, Steve. You got the heart of a Mexican, but the good looks of Italian. Thank you. I like your face, Steve.
Where in Italy does he live?
Oh, I don't know. I forget. He's talked to me about it, though. I think he might even mention it here. Hold on. I'm trying to go through, like, bro, endless amounts of feedback here. It's not easy. I'm going through my Instagram. Okay?
By the way, if Covino hasn't gotten back to you in the last couple months, he's been occupied.
Me and Sergio going at it. I'm like, Sergio, you're crazy. But his main point is interesting. There will never be an Italian champion again. We love food and pussy too much.
And money.
And money. That's all the Italian think. Food, pussy, money. Food, pussy, money. Steve, what you think? I'm right? Yeah, you're right, man. So he sees me watching The Italian Stallion last night because I posted it on my social media. Steve, what you think of the movie? It's a good movie, right? I like The Italian Stallion. What you think of Steve? What you think? Right? So, now he's all amped that I'm watching because this guy loves boxing. He thinks I'm like the West Coast, an analyst of the ages or something. I don't know what he thinks. So here's his last request, and then this is the end of my story.
Steve, can we take a coffee together if I come to Los Angeles one day? Can you spend 1 hour with me? We can talk about little boxing, little about life, little about Italy, little about Europe, little about women, little by little, It would be nice.
Hold on.
And of course, pussy. We have to talk about pussy. I love pussy, Steve. I cannot live without pussy.
So this is my new guy. My best friend that I never fucking asked for. I don't know how these things happen to me, dude. I swear to you. But I laugh at that shit too. Jordan's like, what are you laughing at? I'm like, I can't even tell you. And it's so funny because you know what? There's something really nice about it too. There really is. I don't think this guy wants to.
This is the equivalent.
This is my pen pal. My current pen pal.
This is the equivalent of you having a pen pal 30 years ago. If he comes to LA, you better damn meet him for a cup of coffee to talk about
Can you just
Pussy
play
in
the,
boxing?
Can you
To
play
be
the,
honest,
Can you
I
please
think-
play? Can you please play the last one just one more time?
I feel
Just the
like-
last one more
yeah,
time.
yeah. I want you to start thinking about this encounter though, because I feel like I might have a great time with this dude.
And of course, pussy. We have to talk about pussy. I love pussy, Steve. I cannot live without pussy.
Yes. Yeah. Dude, I had to play this. Like, all the conversations have mostly been about boxing and pussy, right?
Pussy.
But now, like, the conversation is
Pussy,
really like,
Steve.
I like you, Steve. You have a nice face.
I gotta know where this guy's
You're
from.
a good
I gotta
man.
know.
Steve, you are a good man. I could tell. Steve, I see your spirit. You're a good man. You like the boxing. You got the good family. Let's hang out. Let's talk. Let's have a nice call. He'll hit me up, right? I swear to God, this is how ongoing it's been. He'll hit me up and be like, hey, Steve, you forget we're in different time zones, Steve. I'm gonna have a coffee. You going to bed right now?
Well, they drink coffee like 30 times a day over there.
Like, cause I'll hit him back.
They have their
like,
morning shot of espresso.
Yeah, I'll hit him back. Be like, hey, Steve, what do you think of the fight? So I'll hit him back like the next day. Hey, Steve, I'm in Italy. I'm drinking my coffee. That was yesterday. Like, and then he gets mad at me if I don't respond. So this is the guy, me and Sergio, BFF, the end. But
By
I
the
pose
way,
it with a
if you-
question. Yeah, would you meet up with this
Yes.
guy? Really?
Yes.
No,
If you
really
don't-
though?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
If you don't, failed opportunity for you have an international pal. What if all of a sudden this guy becomes like your pal, and all of a sudden every few years you go to Italy and like stay at his villa?
I guarantee you he has like a villa or a yacht or both.
I'm his American
Or
friend.
a vineyard.
I'm his American friend because I engaged with him, and ever since then, hey Steve, how you doing? How's the pussy? Good? Okay. So let me ask you about and he'll ask me about a fighter, and then he'll give me his opinion. And that shit's been going on for 2 months. So put it this way, every fight that's happened in the past 2 months, this guy hits me up immediately.
Invite
Hey,
him over for a fight. If there's a big fight, what's the big
I don't
fight
know.
coming up?
I don't-
Invite him over for the Holyfield Tyson exhibition.
He's going to come here with his Gopaline and his scarf on, drinking his little cappuccino.
Steve.
And Jordan's going to be like, who's this guy? And like, it's Steve.
No,
Very good choice, Steve.
You're gonna go like downstairs because you forgot something in your car. You're gonna come back upstairs. He's gonna be romancing Jordan. Like, hey,
Yeah. Oh, Steve.
Steve, I
friends,
told
right?
you, I love the pussy.
Food.
I
with
I cannot
money.
live without the pussy. And
the
you
pussy.
got the pussy.
I'm like a magnet for this type of shit, man. He's like, hey, let me see. I'm looking for a friend who like the food, the money, and the pussy. I like this guy, Steve.
He likes all three.
Yeah, me and him, soulmates. So anyway, this guy's been hitting me up, and now we're going to meet up, and now we're best friends. Me and Sergio from Italy. Swear to God. And that's
I
why I
love
got to love
Sergio.
boxing. International
He reminds-
sport, and you get international friends as a result.
Reminds me of Dimitri the Stud. Remember that guy?
Yeah, so that was my latest from Sergio. I'll keep you posted now that I've introduced him to your world. But his claim is there will never be another Italian champion because these other fighters are way too hungry. These other cultures way too hungry to fight their way out of their scenario. Where Italians, they're hungrier for other things. So fighting is not their priority anymore.
You ever see the movie Spy with Melissa McCarthy?
Yeah.
He reminds me of the over-the-top Italian guy in that movie.
So I got a new friend, an Italian friend that I introduced to the show, and his name, I guess, is Rich is calling him Sergio. It might as well.
I cannot live
Rucker
without
hit
the
us
pussy.
up and said, "I want to hang out with Sergio. I love coffee and pussy too."
And money.
Hey, Steve,
I can't live without any of those.
Italy is beautiful. Right now, I'm drinking a little coffee, getting ready for
We'll
work.
get some more coffee.
Yeah,
And then I'm gonna
Kyle
get some more
and
pussy.
You know
PA.
what he often talks about too? Steve, you must live life. Steve, you work too much. Steve, you must live the life, enjoy the boxing, enjoy the pussy. But he goes on these rants. So
true.
I don't know if he's
Americans
Yeah.
live to work.
I don't know if he's just being Italian or if he's like boozed up.
No, that's how Italians are.
Yeah.
Italians
And
enjoy,
dude,
they enjoy
dude,
the finer
dude,
things
you
in
go-
life. Food, money,
You go
pussy.
international.
I sit there listening. I'm like, he's right.
You go international. You realize very quickly, and I'm no world traveler, but Spot, you and I have both been to Spain, Italy, Covino. I don't know where have you been to any of those places?
Just I've been to England a bunch of times, but
But if
nowhere
you
else
go to
outside.
Spain, France, Italy, there's a sense of, is everyone fucking lazy? But the sense is not that. The sense is really that they don't live to work the way we do. You're like, everyone's sipping a fucking
Take
cappuccino
siestas in the middle of the day.
at like 2 PM. And you're like, yeah, you know what? They're sort of living life better than
They
we are
shut down
in that
for
respect.
like 2 months while the big cities shut down while everyone goes south for the summer.
Yo, Rich bought me a breakfast wrap in your LA studio a couple years ago when I visited. This is from Kyle. The least you could do, Covino, is buy this guy a macchiato.
It's funny, man. Yeah, it's a weird, funny thing because he'll go on his rants like that and then lead it into either women or what do you think of Steve? Or boxing. And I'm like, this guy's a little weird, but he's also kind of cool.
Just make sure he's not overselling the pussy angle for other reasons.
Oh, right. I know. Maybe he really does like my face. But
I like your face.
Yeah. You know, he sends me all these things all the time. So, and he comments on all my shit. So anyway, that's the story there. So, hey, that's a nice story because my other stories are ass. And,
maybe you could do a boxing podcast with Sergio.
I should, right? Yeah. Sergio and the kid.
Let's talk about pussy. I give you coffee.
Hey, we talk about boxing and pussy and food.
Now, what do you think, Steve?
What do you think, Steve?
I
think you're right, Sergio.
It did make me think of something, though.
Yeah.
And by the way, can I just tell you how I just had the biggest brain fart? I saw Spot pouring you coffee, and I was like, oh, I want some. And I realized, oh, wait, you're not next to me.
Yeah, that's it. So a coffee cheers to Sergio, who's living life, drinking coffee, bothering me all the time. I say
let me ask you
loosely.
this. Yeah. Based on Sergio and based on the TV show I'm watching that I finished last night, by the way, it got so much better as it went on that even though it's overly dramatic, I really did enjoy Who Killed Sarah on Netflix.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Covino, I almost feel like you would like it because it's a lot of like old school machismo, like powerful, deceptive, like drama, a lot of sexuality, right? Who Killed Sarah ends on like a cliffhanger that I'm like, what the fuck? What's going to happen? So I thought it was pretty solid. 10 episodes are all like 40 minutes.
Okay.
One underlying theme, and it sort of goes along with Sergio because he's Italian. This show is based in Mexico. Do you feel like there's a sense of Latino and Italian? By the way, both things that you are. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like there's such a sense of like romance, desire, and like needing pussy that you, Steve Covino, don't have? Not your desire, but I feel like you're the least like sensual, romantic, like for being half Italian and half you're half Latino, half Italian. Don't you think you should be smoother?
If I'm on the prowl, I'm a smooth talker.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I know that from your single days, but I'm saying like every time you see some powerful Latino man or Italian guy, he's always like, hey, I romance you. I love you. I do. And I feel like, is there a part of you that comes out that we don't know about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In the beginnings, for sure. But then you meet the real Steve, and he's like, oh, my fucking ass is itchy. Oh,
I think Steve. Yeah, I think Steve.
And I complain a lot.
Steve, the dater, I think can be very charming.
The dater is fucking.
I mean,
G status.
he relies on his good looks.
Yeah.
And then once
Agreed.
and then initially he like puts on the charm, and then after that it's you peels away.
Yeah.
Agreed, Spot. But I'm saying, based on Who Killed Sarah, like I said, these are all. It's a very dramatic, almost soapy show. Little Telemundo-ish, a little telenovela-ish.
Ay, Dios mío. That's why you got to watch it in Spanish with subtitles so you can see them.
I'm telling you. Spot, I think it's worth maybe giving it a chance. Maybe you don't like it, but maybe you will. But just seeing how Latino men are like, oh, my princess, I love you. I caress you. I love you. And Italian guys are similar. I just wonder if there's a part of Covino that we don't know, that every girl that's dated Covino is like, oh, yeah, he like.
What was that? Remember that show where it was like, it was the movie. It was 365? Where like wasn't it an Italian guy who like locked the girl up in a house for a year?
Yes.
And like was just like walking around naked and like banging her in the shower?
No, I have a lot of passion for sure.
A lot of gratuities in that movie.
But I'm very self-absorbed.
And dick.
And very into my work, where a lot of times the people you speak of, and we heard from Sergio, are truly motivated by the pussy. And I lived that life, but I grew out of it a little bit. You know what I mean? Not that women don't motivate me or that Jordan doesn't motivate me. Of course she does. You know?
How do you grow out of that?
I think.
How old's this guy, by the way?
I don't think he's like much older than me, if my age. You know, I can't.
Still
tell
loves the
anymore.
pussy.
I can't tell anymore. I think he's a little older than me.
I hate the word pussy.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
by the
Yeah,
way,
it's a harsh word.
I guess what I'm asking is, are American men,
This is the guy.
do we,
That's him?
Yeah. Like
Can you show him?
no, because then I don't want my listeners or our pals harassing the guy.
Yeah,
Oh, I see. Is that his girl?
He loves it. And I can't read Italian. What does it say
Let me
right
see.
there? Yeah. But go ahead, Rich. Go ahead. Spot's looking at the guy's profile.
send me a picture. I won't post it. I just want to see him myself.
Doesn't he say my sister, Hermosa? That's his sister.
That's his sister? Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, Hermosa.
No, I think I'm very American and
wait.
very self-centered.
The,
No,
hold
To
on.
answer your question, Rich.
my question is, do we as Americans lack
Yes.
that, like,
Yeah, you're describing the story of the
Oh, beautiful.
hippopotamus.
Sorry. Beautiful.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
thinking of
I-
Herm-
you know
I'm
what it
thinking
is?
of
Like,
Hermano.
foreign dudes are like way more into the romance. Think of
sorry.
the
Sorry.
like the dude from Fuller House that we thought was funny. He was all sensual, you know, serenading his woman.
the guy that was with Kimmy Gibbler.
Yeah, like guys like that. They're always foreign dudes who lead, you know, with a different motivation. Like that guy. It is a perfect tie-in. Think of his motivation. Those are all great things, but
No.
like we're more self-absorbed of trying to get what's next and trying to keep up with the Kardashians. So
I'm just saying, like-
it just makes us less that way. Where we're focused on other things. Where you know, obviously Jordan's a priority for sure, but
I just feel like
If not-
foreign dudes do a lot more
right.
caressing and like firmly grabbing their woman and like kissing them, like, get over here.
Yeah,
like,
I am what I am, but at the end of the day, I'm still American, right? And I think we just lead different lives.
I feel like we are all as Americans relationship and sexually lazy compared to smooth foreign guys that like caress and
Legitimate
massage
foreign
and
guys. Yeah.
like I feel like a foreign guy on any given day will just like dip his woman and kiss her like, oh, my love.
Not minorities, like foreign dudes, like not from America. Like
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So if like some woman meets, think about the woman who meets the hot Cuban guy in Miami, but he's really from Cuba or something. You know, that dude's going to romance her in a way that she's never been romanced by any American and is probably, you know, floored by it. Like, oh my God, his name is Javier. You know,
he's like
he sang
romancing her. He's like
Right.
dancing in his moves and he's
Right.
all sensual,
Right.
reading fucking poetry.
Yeah, I think it's we as Americans, not just me,
Yeah.
need to be doing a better job because, but on the flip side too, those guys might not be as faithful because they're motivated in different ways, right? And they're very old school with how they treat their women as well.
It's true.
Which, by the way, Sylvester Stallone in Rocky II pulls a very like machismo sort of move. Like, yeah, I'm thinking about fighting again, you know. I'm a fighter, you know. She's like, but you promised me, Rocky. You wouldn't fight again. That's what I do. You know. So I'm a little unhappy, you know. I don't work at a meat house. Like, you know, I should be fighting, Adrian, you know. But you promised. Yeah, I know. She's like, maybe I'll pick up a second job. I'm supposed to support, you know. She's like, but I could do it part-time. Like, okay, well, you know what's best. Right? And he goes, why don't you fix up dinner and I'll finish my workout. He's like, okay, Rocky. He sends her up to make dinner.
Old school.
Old school, bro. So those guys, although very romantic perhaps, are also the guys that are going to expect like his woman to make him dinner.
Didn't
Like
you
every night, like every
didn't you say that to didn't you say that to Jordan last night? You're like, yo, why don't you go make me dinner while I scroll through TikTok?
Yo, why don't you go upstairs and get dinner ready? I'll finish my workout, you know. and she's like, okay, Rocky. See, like that's the
Yo,
that's
Jordan,
his old school
why
Italian side.
don't you go make some chicken salads while I scroll through Instagram, all right? Thank you.
So let's not put ourselves down. I think, you know,
So romantic.
there's a lot of great things that come with that foreign guy, with
Yeah.
the romance and the desire and the Steve. What do you think? But there's probably a lot more old school ways that women, that's what happens in that scenario, right? In that scenario, the woman's like, oh my God, he's so romantic. And then like fast forward, she's like, oh my God, he's a nightmare. He wants me to be his maid.
Kristen hit us up. Kristen Nielsen saying, never expected any type of those grand romantic gestures. It would likely make me feel very uncomfortable if someone was like overly romantic.
Maybe, but you might like it. You don't know. So,
Europe has a way healthier work-life balance than most Americans. Work is not your life. They have it right, from what I know at least.
right.
Steve's new pal is hilarious. What's up, Anthony? Yo, Covino, this is from Rashawn. Just bring Rich your spot when you go meet up with him. It'll be funny. You have to.
If the relationship
I want to meet him. I want to meet him so bad.
If it continues, yeah, I would do that. That would be funny. Because this dude seems to be a good guy. Sounds a little creepy. I get it if you're a woman listening, right? But I think we could get where he's coming from, and he seems like a charming dude. He does, and he's like, "Hey, my American pal, you know, we can be friends, you know."
I like you. I like your face, Steve.
You got the kind of face. Tell me about your woman, Steve. The principessa. Let me tell me about your woman, Steve. Does she treat you nice? Like these are conversations from the heart that I don't have with my American friends.
Yeah, sorry, dude. Sorry,
Yeah.
I can't be Sergio.
Sorry. Yeah, you know what, guys? I'm starting a new show. But anyway, Rich, good point. What's the name of the show again? I Killed Sarah?
Who killed Sarah?
I killed Colonel Mustard
In the conservatory.
with a candlestick.
But the finale is one of those like, oh, wow, they could do a season 2. Like, and they are. It comes out in May. So
Okay.
it's still, I think yesterday was the number 2 trending thing on Netflix. So
Do you want another story real quick?
I do.
It's getting late early.
I mean,
I have
Legally
to get
Blonde
this
was
up.
in the top 10 yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have to get this off my chest today. Is time relevant? So we're going to say, I'll make it quick enough where we could hear the update about your mom and everything else you promised, Rich. I promise.
Okay.
All right. So Rich makes a great point. Who killed Sarah? There's something about the foreign guy where they bring the romance far superior than the American guy. It's just a fact. I think so. Again, because we're motivated and preoccupied with other shit that gets in our way. I have a story that upsets me till no end. Honestly. Bro, about to bang my head on the table. Maybe through the wall.
This is my apartment. Please don't.
I am so fired down about something that happened yesterday.
Oh, no.
I'm going to keep the numbers even. Which makes me think of a Mitch Hedberg bit. Did you ever hear the bit where he was like, yeah, so they said that 40,000 people tuned into the U.S. Open. I don't know. I'm making this. I'm ad-libbing. He's like, I thought that was amazing. Such an even number. Like not 40.
I saw that.
Not like 40,008, like 40,000. So I'm going to keep the numbers even to keep it simple. All right? Don't try to over-speculate on my financial income or anything like that, because I can tell you right now, it's meatballs. So last year, there's no question, Rich and I had a pretty good year financially. We had 2 full-time jobs, kicking ass. We were kicking lots of ass. So at the end of the year, things weren't going so well. The writing was on the wall at SiriusXM, and the ESPN thing, because of COVID and budgets, didn't look like it was going to happen again. But you can't take that away. You can't take it back. Great experience. But I also want to prove to you that Rich and I were not being irresponsible, okay? Before we lost our gig at ESPN, we had total reason to believe that everything was going to be okay, that we were good. We were smooth sailing. We were back on television. They had all this new swag made for our show. Shirts, pint glasses, magnets, pop sockets, you name it. We had all this new set design. They had bought new couches for our show when it returned back to studio.
What's that like?
We were totally led to believe. Now, I'm not blaming anybody for what happened. I mean, COVID happened. Corona happened. Life happened that no one would have expected. But we were led to believe that things were okay. And ESPN didn't pick up our contract because they were forced to let a lot of people go if their contracts were up, especially because of budget reasons. At SiriusXM, also led to believe that everything was good. Let's hold off on the negotiations because we're going through a weird year. We're rebranding the show. We were even rebranding the show. Sports, entertainment, life. It was a go. Rebranding, we're good.
Sports.
So Rich and I bought a house. We bought houses. I bought a house.
You bought a house together.
Rich bought a house. So I don't want you to think I'm being irresponsible here. But when you buy a house, a lot of your nest egg goes away, right? You're putting a lot of money down on a house, 20% sometimes, right?
You ain't kidding.
That's the goal.
A little bit
So
irresponsible.
I had to, no, it's not irresponsible, Spot.
A little bit.
We
How?
were truly led to believe 100% that everything was good because we had lasted that long through the virus. We're like, man, we've been unscathed, untouched. Sure enough, new budgets came in and wow, life hit us right back into reality. And with SiriusXM, if you don't know, they gave us an offer, an exclusive offer that we couldn't accept. We were better off on our own. We couldn't work in that new pay system that they wanted to roll with. So now comes tax season 2021, and I know I'm going to have to pay, right? I know I'm going to have to pay, but I'm also thinking, well, Rich and I, we bought a house, so that might balance some shit out. But no, down payments aren't write-offs. And I bought the house at the end of the year. So it's not like I've made a lot of payments on the house.
Yeah.
So there's really nothing I could write off. I'm only going to benefit maybe in 2021. Anything that happened in 2020 really doesn't benefit me.
Hey, I wasn't aware either. I always wonder when people say, oh, you buy a house like for tax reasons. Like I never understood what was the benefit. And it's the
benefit's next year.
It's next year. Yeah.
Next
it's not
year.
It's not buying a house.
So
it's
all the money that we put down on our homes is not a write-off.
no.
And we bought them in October, November. So we paid, 2 months of mortgage and taxes and things like that, insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, irresponsible? I don't think so. We were just doing what we thought was right at the time.
I have a theory on that, but I need to pee so bad. Can we take like a literal 20 seconds because then we'll just go to the end because I can't wait.
Covino can tell a story and you can go pee.
Okay.
He's doing setup. And go.
Give me the one shot. Thank you. Vato nods. Carlos in Fresno. Carlos in Chicago. King Carlos. Orale. Michael Miggs. So now comes tax time, 2021. Everybody's sort of going through it right now, if not already. And I know I'm going to have to pay because I paid a lot the prior year because of the money we made with ESPN and SiriusXM. And even though we pay taxes, I don't know, we must not pay enough or something. And it turns out in 2020, we did really well. So I get the positive. The positive is we did really well. But when I got my taxes back.
Taxes.
Well, they were toxic. When I got my taxes back, I looked at it and I said, fuck, that's a big chunk. Especially when I just put a big chunk down on a house and everything that goes along with it. And I got to get my patio fixed. Fuck. Hey, Steve, tell me about this patio.
So give me a 20-second recap.
No, you didn't miss anything.
You didn't miss anything.
Oh.
That was a quick pee, dude. You really had to pee that bad? A little tinkle?
I really did.
A little tinkle was holding you up?
He actually definitely took a shit.
I think he pinched one out. So I'm saying we got our taxes back, and I'm looking at this ridiculous number. So what do? I call. Let's say it's $30,000. Steve Covino owes $30,000 in taxes? No way. That's how I feel, Spot. Like $30,000. That
Hold
must
on.
mean
I gotta pull up my
I
dude.
made some good coin last year, I guess. But that's a lot of money. Fuck. I was going to use that money for other things. That was sort of my cushion, being that you and I lost both of those important jobs that we had.
Yeah.
Fuck. $30,000 in taxes? Suck my fuck. Right?
Taxes.
It's the worst part of the game. So I call the accountant. And it's not the accountant. It's the person that works for the accountant. It's not the main person. It's one of his lemmings. So I'm like, hey, I got your paperwork back. I noticed that you had my old address there. Like, you don't even have my new address on this paperwork, which says to me maybe there was some oversights here because the numbers are really high. So can you fix my address? I don't know if that's important in this process, but you got my wrong address, which was clue number one, that maybe there's a mistake. Clue number two was that this number's really high, like higher than the previous year. Like, whoa! How do I owe that much? This person was very insistent that I was sort of like ruining their day. Like, I'm very busy. These numbers are accurate. These numbers are correct.
Was this the main person or the worker?
I just said this.
No, but remind me. Who are you talking to?
just
The main
said-
The
person?
lemming. The lemming. You said the lemming. Remember
I
the
even
lemming?
used the lemming
He used the lemming.
to describe this person.
The lemming.
Okay, so you
Not
talked
the
to that
main
person.
The lemming.
Another person.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you're very certain that everything's correct, but you don't even have my address right. So can you please do me a solid? Can you please change my address and just give it a look-see? Just a little look-see. Maybe there's some other write-offs. I even pulled the desperation move and said, hey, I'm doing just fine, but I also lost 2 full-time jobs. So this amount of money is really tough on me right now. Like, that's a lot of money. I'm telling you these numbers are correct. But I'll change the address and I'll get it back to you. Okay. So I open up my email again, only to see, get this, that my address was now correct.
Oh, good.
Cool. But now I owe $37,000. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is not why I called you up. So now I'm so fucking pissed off. I'm like, how do I owe more? What happened from 2 seconds ago to now where I now owe $37,000? I owe $7,000 more than from when we got off the phone 2 minutes ago. I called you to see if there was anything we could write off, not anything you could add on. What the fuck? So now the nasty grams are coming out. I'm like, hey, whoa. Let's forget this conversation ever happened, okay? Forget this. What is this? I didn't call you up to add more. I already told you that this was a lot.
Your address makes it more money.
Bro.
Yeah.
I got a response of, yeah, I realized there was an oversight and you paid more in your retirement than you were supposed to. So, yeah, you owed more than we thought. I was like, whoa. I want to speak to the manager. I want to speak to the main person, right? I was calling people furiously because the first number was giving me a heartache. Now I owe $7,000 more on top of that. Now that's really digging into my cushion in my life. Like, I could have gotten by with the original amount. Now with this new amount, I'm like, no, now I'm really fucked. This is horse shit. Fuck you. Now I'm supposed to trust you? You didn't have my address right. You said everything was right, and then you were wrong, and then you added $7,000, and now I'm supposed to trust this? Fuck you. Where's the main lady? No one's at the office. So I'm on a cliffhanger from 3 o'clock our time yesterday for the rest of the night. So from 3 p.m. yesterday, because our accountants are on the East Coast, New York, from 3 p.m. yesterday to the rest of the night, I want to pull my hair out because I'm like, how in the world could I call someone up to make a correction and then to see if they can help me out, only to have them review it and say, oh, yeah, you know what, we did mess up. You're right. You owe more than that.
Legally, they, if they made a mistake, you should be happy they caught it, but not happy about the number.
Happy about the one that works against me?
No,
I'm not happy at all.
Meaning, you can't be mad for them doing the right thing.
They were so insistent they were right the first time. But their
Here's what I
mistake
thought.
adds more money. So I finally, this morning, get an email back because I had to wait the entire day. I get an email back. Oh, by the way, I just got another one from the main person.
Oh.
Wow.
Ooh. Update.
Wow.
Live
Please
update.
give me the
Live
update.
But first, let me give you the other update.
Yeah.
So the woman I was dealing with gets back to me and says, where is it? Well, I could ad lib. She basically says, yeah, tough titties.
Cut.
This is what you owe now. You can't go by the previous amount. This is it. It was an oversight. Bye. And I'm like,
I get that.
I mean,
and here's the live update.
I don't like that they made a mistake. And by the way, I have a theory,
But
let
dude,
me
if
read
I
the
would
update
have
update.
paid the original
I mean,
one,
it makes you wonder if you go back. A lot of people will redo their taxes.
No. Spot.
What if I
That's
just paid the original
that's
one
my
then?
thought. Before you give the update, I wonder if someone that has a fair amount of write-offs and different investments and capital gains tax and properties, I do wonder if you gave your taxes to 3 different accountants, how different the numbers would come up.
yeah, and then
I have thought that.
Jordan's like, do it yourself. I'm like, it's so complex. She's like, no, it's not. I'm like, it is. And they write off as much as they could. They specialize in entertainment and things that we do.
All
So
that stuff changed though.
Yeah.
A lot of that changed last year. So like all the stuff you think you're writing off, you're really not. So you probably could do it.
Yeah, but do you realize if I didn't ask them to review it, I would have not had paid an extra $7,000
It'd
more?
come back to haunt you.
It would come back to you.
How do you know
possibly.
that?
The
And
government
if they
comes
were
after
so
you.
diligent,
They do. They really do.
how am I supposed to trust this?
Do you say diligent or Dillerman?
Even that's not going to make me happy right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I gotta find him. I lost him again.
Here's the
Gotta
live
find him
update
again.
from the main person, from the main accountant. Steve, the return is good as it is. No, it's not. There is no way to change it. You overfunded your pension.
John.
So you will have to pay tax on the overfunding. Best
What
regards.
does that mean?
Wait, say that again.
You and I, because most likely our numbers are the same, overpaid in our Disney retirement and have to pay taxes on that. But you realize by me asking them to,
Probably because you had to
but by
You
me
cashed
asking
it
them
out,
to
I
look
assume?
over it, I fucked
No.
myself.
or transferred it.
Dude, I am beyond furious.
Did you transfer it when you left the company?
The end. So I went from wanting to pull my hair out because I owed $30,000 to wanting to jump off a bridge because I owe even more than that because I asked them to change my address and just, can you just look over it again? Because I think it's too high.
I mean, I had to pay like. Is that just wait? Was that just one or the other? Was that like state or federal?
They both went up.
So total you owe.
Total owe more, significantly more than they had previously told me.
I had to pay like
If I
10 grand
hadn't
in
said
taxes last
anything,
year.
I would have just, I shouldn't have said anything. But my address was wrong. That was immediate indicator to me that they weren't really diligent with this. My whole year was based on that I bought this house and we talked about it. You didn't even change my address.
And you submitted all this information?
Yo, man. That's it. That's my story. The end. Oh, wait, hold on. Taxes. The end. No, the end. When I jump off the bridge. Friday. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. I do wonder, though, to back up what I said, I wonder if you gave your taxes to 3 different accountants, if you'd get the same number. Like, we're so quick to think like, oh, yeah, they're doing it right, or they have your best interest in mind, or they're getting all the write-offs, they're doing everything legally. Like, I wonder if 3 accountants would come back with similar numbers.
You know what's aggravating about that thought? A, that you're probably right. But B, I noticed this with my parents' relationship too. Most relationships, I'm sure this is relatable. Like when I tell Jordan these stories, she thinks I'm with some clown of an accountant. You know, like, well, your bozo accountant says here you owe $37,000. You know, she's like, well, why don't you get another one? I'm like, well, they're good accountants. It's not, they're a high-end accountant from New York City that New York City that Howard Stern uses, right?
Oh.
They're high-end, high-profile accountants that specialize in this. I didn't just pick some dude off of fucking Craigslist to do my.
Yeah, Covino didn't go to H&R Block.
I didn't, right? I did for once. I did my due diligence to figure this out.
Very reputable.
I used to go to H&R Block when I had a simple life with simple income, right? And yeah, you could do TurboTax.
H&R Block
is
one
little W-2 or fucking your life is easy. But when you got all these different things you could write off, and you got different incomes, and child supports and alimonies and things like that, I can't do that shit on TurboTax. Okay?
Yeah. When I became a sole proprietor, is that it? I started using an accountant just because I for my freelance stuff I have a lot of deductions. And I run everything through that.
Yeah.
So it became just slightly more complicated. Could I do it? Yes. But it just became slightly more complicated, so I wanted to have someone else do it.
Gonna know all the loopholes that a professional would know? No.
There aren't that many loopholes that you think exist.
Well, guess what? I don't know them. So, there's something about like
It's the worst part of the game.
Like if my dad, let's say my dad
It's not fun to what?
Yeah.
It's the worst part of the game.
Oh, it's what?
Taxes.
Like if my dad, let's say my parents needed their gutters cleaned, right? Yeah, I called Ned Stevens, right? Because my parents needed the gutters cleaned. My mom would never have 100% faith in the fact that my dad picked the right guy. She thinks that he found them off of a fucking telephone pole ad. Like, who's this idiot you hired? It's because of this idiot you hired. Hey, what do you want from me, Tencia? Or Tencia knows the right person to hire, right? And I feel that way about Jordan. Like, if I were to hire the guy, like my accountant is the weakest and worst, but someone Jordan would find would be the best.
I have a question. Why don't you?
That's just
why
how
don't
it
you
is.
have?
So she's like,
why don't
you
have
should probably
Jordan
have better accountants. And I'm like, my accountant's fine.
Well, hold on. H&R Block, right?
Yeah.
Is probably what, $50, $100? I don't know. Why don't you have someone else run your taxes?
It costs a lot of money just to get these taxes done, and I owe that money.
Why don't you have someone else run your taxes and see what they come up with?
Because I'm adding more money to what a total amount that is already fucking driving me crazy.
The number is already astronomical from what you're describing. Would $100 cross-reference be worth it, maybe?
But can you just take it in, that luck? Like, that's not why I called this person. That's not why I asked you to review it. I didn't ask you to add to my total. I asked you to see if you could take a little off somehow to help out this guy, not add a lot more.
Hey, are we forgetting something? Did you figure out every possible write-off and things I could do? Oh, it's funny, Steve, that in fact we forgot something. You owe more. Like that's
exactly what happened. And I'm like, well, why did I even say anything? It's hard to sleep at night when things like that happen. The end.
Hey, health is wealth, bro. You got your health.
I was thinking that. That's what I was thinking on my way here. Stallone is right. Again, health is wealth. Girth is worth.
Health is wealth, man.
Health is wealth.
Who cares? You think I owe? You don't think I owe what you owe?
But imagine trying to get a little off, and then they give you a lot more. Like you want to kick somebody in the fucking throat.
I'm not calling them back.
Yeah, you got to leave well enough alone sometimes. That's really
Rich,
what it
did
comes
you
down
update
to.
your address?
I don't care.
Yeah, and now I'm gonna have a fight with the main person. I'm like, you realize like what happened? So that this is ridiculous. This is professional. Does this sound professional to you? I say absolutely.
Yeah, but the reality is they did the right thing. What do you want them to do? Not the right thing?
They were so again. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but they were so sure they were right the first time, and now I'm supposed to take their word for it. Fuck them. I'm so mad.
Ask them to check it again, and they'll come back and be like, "Oh, we forgot one other thing."
Yeah, exactly.
So you're getting a new account now?
No, I don't want to pay for all that again.
No, I'm saying like moving forward.
Oh, I don't know. I'm really upset by the whole thing. So go ahead, Rich. That's my story, man. Like it's the no leaf clover, bro. The no leaf clover.
Man,
you know what the no leaf clover is? It's a Metallica song, but it's the opposite of good luck, bro.
Hey, you're pretty lucky, man.
In a lot of ways, yes. And I thank God every night for my blessings and for the hog in my pants and my good looks and my family and all these things. The pussy.
Food.
The fact that I made
Pussy.
a lot of money,
You got
right?
2. Hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, but
Like Meatloaf said.
man, bro, life has a way of keeping me in check always. And it's like, yo, God, I get it already. I got it. Jeez. I can't believe that.
Steps forward, one step back. Always.
Always, man. Always. Always, always, always. Always, always.
That's the story.
Yeah. So, yeah, I owe a lot of money. Put it that way. A lot of money.
You know what?
And what makes
you know
it
what
tough,
I wonder
again, is
too?
that Rich and I both spent a lot of our money already on down payments.
Yeah.
So it's way more money.
You ain't
than I
kidding, bud. I do wonder. I do wonder what to do with certain finances. To wrap up that conversation, I actually wrote it down in my notes today. Does there come a point where you cash out Bitcoin, or do you really believe like some of these people that say, oh, it'll be $100,000-$200,000 in the next couple of years? Like,
there's also experts that say that once you find out who's behind Bitcoin, it's going to plummet to zero. Like once you find out the truth of Bitcoin.
There's people that are like, oh, Bitcoin's coming for a dark winter and it's going to go down like 80%. And then there's other people that say Bitcoin's going to be $100,000-$200,000. So that's always my thought. Like, yo, what am I doing with this? What am I doing with this Bitcoin? Because I'm like, is now the time to cash it out to fucking catch up on some things? And should I use that to pay some tax money? Like, and I'm thinking to myself, does Bitcoin end up becoming a couple $100,000, or is Bitcoin one of those things that's going to be $0 one day?
Yeah, nobody knows.
No.
That's why I'm collecting Buffalo nickels.
Oh, yeah, it's a good idea.
You in with me,
now?
Spot?
You want a story that'll get your mind off of taxes?
Yeah, it hurts my feelings, bro. Like it hurts.
Hey, Spot, can you play that kid one more time? Because he's never been more right. He goes, I'm only sitting back because Covino's story was worse, but I got the same call yesterday. I talked to them yesterday too, and I finally got all my stuff, so they must be finalizing all their tax stuff. And it's the highest number that I've ever seen, and it hurts your stomach when you open up.
It's the worst part of the game.
Oh, it's what?
Taxes.
Hey, you know what? Jordan makes a good point. And you know what I like about Jordan? She's very smart, man. She challenges me in a lot of ways. She's super smart. She's not all jubbos, believe
You know
it
what
or
I like
not.
about Jordan? She puts up with you.
She puts up with me, too. But, yo, Rich, this could help you out real quick.
And her jubbos.
Guess what happened to Rich and I behind the scenes? This is very personal. But, hey, this is our Patreon. You're our friends. We appreciate you. We trust you. We love you guys.
Do I know this?
No. When we worked at ESPN, right, there was a Disney retirement fund, and Rich and I had a nice little chunk of change in there. We're like, oh, sweet. I don't remember signing up for this.
Yeah, they're taxing you on it.
But guess what happened just about a month ago? All that money was magically gone from our Fidelity account. Let's say it was like $20,000, right? Let's say it was $25,000 because we were there for a few years, right? Gone. And I said, I reached out. I was like, why is our money just gone? They're like, oh, well, because you didn't pass the 3-year threshold and you don't work there anymore. And that really wasn't your money. It was like Disney was just giving it to you.
So you were paying into it.
So I'm wondering, Rich, based on Jordan's text right now, did we pay taxes on that money because we submitted those numbers? Huh? I gotta find out.
No, I think it was like an employee retirement thing where they put into it, and then if you don't last,
that was in my totals when I submitted my Fidelity account. It's possible. It's something to look into.
They wouldn't have taken it away though in 2020. They took it away in 2021.
Yeah, so you'll show a loss, and so you'll get it back at the end of this year.
I mean, it's still worth bringing up.
No, because it happened in 2021.
Yeah, like if I buy a stock.
Yeah, but I never had that money. The money was never
Yeah,
ours.
but if I buy a stock and it goes up in 2020 and then it drops in 2021 and I lose money on it, I'm not getting my
but
money back.
imaginary money. They took it away from us.
That's how taxes work.
That would reflect your 2021 taxes, not your 2020 taxes.
Why wouldn't I pay taxes on a number and amount that was in the paperwork that I submitted?
Part of the game.
It's what?
Because
Taxes.
this is boring, but that money was in your account on December 31st, right?
Yeah.
So that's all that matters. It's 2020.
Yeah,
Calendar year.
It's like that's weird though that they would like give you money and then take it away.
And
Is it-
it's
did
worth
it-
investigating.
did it-
That's exactly what
It's
happened.
not worth investigating because the
I think
money
it
was
is.
there in 2020.
Did it come out of your checks?
It wasn't there. I called Fidelity. You did not. It was never really ours. It was like placeholder. It's never ours until we passed that threshold. That was Disney money. It was almost like, here's what we're giving you, but we took it all away. So anyway, yeah, I'll call my accountant later.
Accountant?
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Hello.
Keep you posted. Continue, Rich.
You,
Carry on.
you owe now. Oh, they've added. You now owe 10 more. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now
Sorry,
I'm
the
scared
money
to call.
didn't exist.
They're like, yeah, we're taking your house. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, we just realized we made a mistake.
Every time you call them,
We want those Yeezy Oreos too. What do you mean, my Yeezy Oreos? You didn't pay taxes on them.
Yeah.
What?
It's the repo man coming for you.
Fuck.
why don't you do a payment plan instead of being the guy that's OCD and wants to get it off your chest?
I mean, it's an option.
All right. Hey, money, life, taxes.
No, I thought
Money, the law.
the estimated tax you have to pay in advance. I think when the taxes are due, you have to pay. You would have to pay over the previous year.
Yeah.
No, Spot. You could
make
pay on a
payments.
payment plan with like a little amount of interest.
Oh, okay.
Like if
I
you
like to get
owe,
that
like
off
if
my chest.
Covino's like, hey, IRS, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Can I do a payment plan? They'll give you payments. I think short-term payments, but there's an interest.
Oh, okay.
All right. So moving on.
All right,
Just a story of
I've
bad
always
luck, bro.
planned for taxes.
bore Phil. By the way, there's Cesar Millan in the news. Did you see this? That he is defending the Biden's dog,
No, I didn't see that.
saying that.
Who cares about him? Get into your mom's story. We're running out of time.
Oh,
I want to hear about Cesar
You want to talk about Caesar Milan?
Five.
we haven't heard about Cesar Millan in like years, and he comes out and he says that the White House isn't a really easy place for a dog to adapt to because there's all new people, there's always things going on, and the dog that like bit someone should not be blamed at all. So he's defending the dog. That's it. That's the only part of the story.
I mean, yeah. Well, makes sense.
I was antagonizing a dog yesterday, and the owner came out.
Zippy?
It was another dog. There's
Oh.
two dogs that live behind me on my patio, and I was just fucking contemplating jumping off and just looking out into the sunset. What does it all mean? Fucking $30,000. Fuck you.
You know what?
So I see his dog looking at me. I went, "Rrr," right? He looked at me, and he was like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr." Another dog came running, and it went, "Rrr, rrr, rrr." So then I was going to Instagram story me fucking with these dogs. So I did it again, and I was like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr." And then the owner came out to look at me, and he's like basically looking at me like, "What are you doing, asshole? Barking at my dogs." But I had one in my back pocket. I was gonna be like, "You mean me being playful with your dogs who bark all fucking night? You better chill the fuck out." That's what I was gonna say.
Becoming unhinged.
No, I'm just telling you what happened. You brought up dogs. I didn't want to talk about Cesar Millan. It's a true story.
You're fucking talking to Italian
True
guys.
story. It happened to me yesterday.
You're yelling
100%.
at your accountant.
I was barking at two dogs.
barking
yesterday.
at two dogs.
Two. They were both barking at me. I was causing a ruckus.
You're losing your mind.
Yeah, the guy came out in his fucking slippers and
This
looked.
guy's losing his mind.
And you're gonna jump off your balcony, and all you're gonna do is like sprain your ankle.
Yeah, you're not high enough.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So go ahead.
Covino tore his ACL. Oh, why? He jumped off his balcony.
No, he's gonna jump. He's gonna jump off his balcony, and his pant loop is gonna get caught on the tree. So he's just gonna be dangling there,
Yeah. I got caught.
like the kid on the fence.
It was funny
He
though.
caught his nutsack on the fence.
I was hoping the owner thought I was being playful with his mutts, but there were two dogs from two different yards. So give us the story, the update on your mom, Rich. I mean, Cesar Milan, he's a great guy. Miss him dearly,
Yeah.
but I don't want to hear about him.
So the update is my mom is insinuating like she made a mistake and wants to come to Texas.
Wow. What do you think happened from when you were just there?
I
Till
think
now.
she realized that she's scared and life isn't going to change if she stays in her scenario. But here's the problem. I had to cancel her ticket today because she's like, well, I can't come there tomorrow. I got to go see a doctor. Something about her leg and this. And there's I am not.
There's always going to be excuses.
Yeah, so I'm not really believing until I see it, but she's like adamant now that like she's gonna be in Texas by May 1st. Like she made a deadline for herself. So I was like, all right, it's fine. I'll give it a chance. So we'll see. I'm taking the pressure off. I'm like, hey, I'm not do what you got to do, but yeah, you if you want to go with that plan, let's see it be carried through.
So she's not coming this week to visit.
No, she's not. She's not coming this week, which was sort of a bummer because I was like, "What? This week is perfect. Why not come this week, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And Emmy has her first soccer game on Saturday. Would have been a good week for that.
Oh, that sucks.
So I was like, "Yeah, why not come now?" But she's like, "My leg, and I want to go to the doctor." And I was like, "Yeah, you're just getting old. There's always gonna be doctors. Like, there's an excuse every day for you because you're old now. You're old. Everything's your leg hurts, this hurts, you're feeling achy." I was like, "You're fucking old. What do you want me to say?" But you're not old. Like you're old for your age.
Health is wealth.
There's always something.
Yeah. Oh, well, I hope she makes it out there eventually.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, why are you throwing this in my plate now? Because I had already come to grips with like, all right, this is not the plan. So like stick to your fucking terrible decision.
Right. Well, it keeps you from moving forward, with finding another renter. That's the real fucked up part on your side of things. So, hey, I hope she realizes or continues to realize that there's more to life than Butch and Long Island.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sort of and that's where we're at right now. So I'm like, "Hey, why don't you come here tomorrow?" I was like, "There's no excuse. You have nothing to do." And she's like, "I don't feel well." I'm like, "Well, then don't feel well here." Is there any difference not feeling well there or here? You're alone on Long Island, not feeling if your leg hurts or whatever you're saying. So, come to Texas and feel shitty about your leg or whatever it is.
Oh, well, keep us posted on that.
So, yeah. There's really no great update.
No,
it's just that.
But, it's worth hearing, and we've been part of the saga for
Yeah, no,
but
Spot, do you get what I'm saying? Like, as far as like, well, if your leg hurts, then isn't your leg gonna hurt wherever you are?
Yeah. Like
so, it's like
I'm telling you, it's going to be one excuse after the other. There's.
Would your leg hurt as much though in the hills of Italy? I don't know about that. Steve, let me tell you, Steve. You have a dark cloud in America. You a good person, I can see, Steve. Come to Italy and you realize life is beautiful. Have the pussy and the principessa, the coffee with your friend Sergio.
There's a whole movie.
There's no pain in Italy.
There's a whole movie. Life is beautiful.
I know. That's why I said the principessa.
La vita è bella.
Yeah.
just saying.
Maybe honestly, maybe this is your ticket out. Sergio comes here. You hit it off. And he's like, come
to Italy, Steve.
My leg used to hurt when I lived in America for a brief moment. Back in Italy, no
we drink coffee. We talk pussy.
We talk pussy. We watch boxing. We
eat the pasta and cream sauce.
We don't gain weight, and life is good.
Telling you.
Maybe he's got the right idea.
No more pain. No leg hurt. No nothing.
I think
pussy.
I think this is it. Yeah. This is your.
It's a big move.
Yeah, that's it. I'm gone. I'm out.
Later. Can I come?
Man.
I'm opening Covino's wine shop.
Honestly, if I could, I'd live in Italy.
Moving to.
I could.
Family drives from Foggia. That's where I'm going.
Dual citizenship.
Okay.
So,
that sucks. Yeah,
hey.
if her leg hurts, it's gonna hurt here, there, anywhere. So might as well
it's
be
almost
with family.
like it's almost like, yeah, I'm really not feeling well. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, not so like a dick, but won't that apply wherever you are? Like if someone's like, yeah, I'm not gonna come over, like my leg hurts. I'm like, well, if you're sitting at home by yourself and your leg hurts, you could sit here and have your leg hurt.
Yeah, isn't it funny that like her leg's probably been hurting for years, and this is the week that or the day that she chooses to go get it checked?
I was like, yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know, man. Old people get pains and they hurt. I don't know. She's not even that old. But it's like, all right, sure. I mean, I was like, hey, perfect. You made a mistake. You want to come here? Hey, cool. I got your plane. I never canceled your plane ticket. Oh, I can't come tomorrow because of my leg. And I'm like, well, you're never gonna come. Like, I don't know. I'm not buying it. I feel like I'm still like not believing it at all. So I'm like, all right, I'm going along with her little feeling. I don't think it'll happen. I should probably proceed thinking it won't happen. And if it does, it'll be a miracle.
Yeah,
It's a good approach. It's a good approach.
Yeah, set your bar really low.
Yeah. I'll be like, I'll start getting ready to rent this place. And then I'll be like, all right, later to you.
No, because it's when you get your hopes up that you get let down, right? It's like, you submit a resume or you have an audition. You're like, yo, man, I'm feeling good about this one. I nailed it. You're best off just to do it and fucking move on. And if it happens, you're like, oh, sweet, cool. I didn't expect that.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, she's coming. Cool. I didn't think she's coming. Okay, but cool.
Nice. All right. Well, hey, any other notes you want to get to today before we get out of here?
Story of Caesar Milan.
5.
You promised like 5 other things, you goonburger. But hey, keep them hanging. Keep them wanting more.
I covered it all. Tiger Woods, they're saying the reason he got in that accident, that he was going 83 in a 45. That came out. DMX, it does not look good for DMX.
That sucks.
Sad.
That's really
They're
sad.
doing a scan today to see if there's any brain activity. I don't know if they did it yet, but that's the update there.
Oof.
Well, yeah, isn't the whole thing that he's in a vegetative state?
Sorry to hear about that. Oh,
yeah.
And Rich, before we forget, by the way, thoughts and prayers for DMX. I mean, like I said,
yeah,
that dude had so many anthems that got us fired up throughout the years. I'm not trying to brush over that. I do wish him the best. But it looks like we're going to do something live on this Friday. So stay tuned for that. If you don't follow us on Twitter or Instagram, you have to follow us at Covino and Rich. I'm assuming you guys do. You're our family here, the ones on the Patreon, but it looks like we're going to try to do something just for fun on Friday, just for the hell of it. We're not committing to anything. We're not signing a contract. There's nothing that we're going to be committing to for the next Fridays moving forward. Just this Friday.
We're just doing a show on Friday.
Yeah, we're doing a show on Friday.
I mean, there's nothing more than hey, on Friday, we're figuring out exactly how and when, but it looks like on Friday we're going to hop on Twitch and do a free show on Friday.
Yeah, not here on Patreon. We'll send out the link.
Yeah, we'll get the links out.
Yeah. So just something, because we get a lot of
new to
feedback
try.
like, yo, man, I love the Patreon, but I'm not getting used to the Fridays off. Well, we'll have some fun this Friday. Why the hell not? We'll try something different.
Yeah.
We'll send out the Twitch link. It's just another link for you to click. And
I don't get it.
You could watch the show. Yeah, it's not going to be a difficult thing to figure out.
Nothing tricky.
But link, and there we are. Okay.
Yeah.
So wait a second.
I clicked it, but it opened up a page, and you're there. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah, we're gonna do a free show on Friday just to try it out. Free show on Friday.
Can you pull up Beavis and Butthead's principle? That's how everyone acts when it comes to technical confusion with apps and Patreon. Like, what's wrong with this guy? Like, you can't figure out how to use the app.
Oh no!
This is
Oh no! Damn it!
that's everybody with our app.
Oh no!
Yeah. Hey, how do I figure this out? I don't get it.
Just click the button. Like he's a button. Just click it. It's like really easy. Like even Beavis can do it. It's like a hot potato in their fucking app. Who do you picture, Spot? Like fumbling with their phone in their app. I don't get it. Patreon. Well, guess what? We're gonna send a link out Friday. We'll probably send it out on Thursday, right, Spot?
Sure.
I mean, Thursday night, Friday. Yeah. The link will be there. Twitter, Instagram, everywhere at Covino and Rich. Click it. We'll be live. Just for fun.
Yeah.
Just test it out. Hang out. We got nothing going on. Why the hell not?
Yeah. We'll do a little quickie Friday show for free. And we'll see you there Friday. But we'll be back here tomorrow on Patreon. But Friday, we figure why not hop on, try it, see what the deal is, see what people are out there in the Twitch world. So Twitch on Friday for free.
Why the hell not, right? And for tomorrow, I'm excited for a kick-ass Thursday show. Is there a statute of limitations on like ex-girlfriends and things like that?
What do you mean?
An ex-girlfriend of mine posted something on social media, and I saw it, and it made me say, huh.
How'd you look?
That's interesting.
How'd you look?
What do you mean?
Well, I'll explain tomorrow. It's called
All right.
It's called a tease.
How'd you look?
All my girlfriends were beautiful. Not as beautiful as my current one, of course, but they were all
Good answer.
gorgeous and beautiful people for sure.
Yeah, that was. You know what it was? Your superficial charm that lured them in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you bled them dry of all their
Well, I have a
self-esteem
good
like
heart.
Rich.
I just have
Well,
fucking
Steve, I know what you care about.
Hey, Steve, I see you're a good man, Steve. Let's have some coffee and talk about the pussy.
Let's do it.
So you know what? Yeah.
I cannot live.
I think the
without
key to
the
today's
pussy.
show is find a foreign
Can
friend.
you play that clip one more time, please?
Yeah, one more? Let's see, which one?
Just the last two.
The last two.
The
The last two? All right. Yeah, all right. So, yeah, we'll talk about, like, ex-girlfriends
Please
on a
play it.
Throwback Thursday. Ex-girlfriends on a Throwback Thursday tomorrow.
And the pussy.
But today, I leave you with the last two messages I got from my Italian pen pal on Instagram. He which, by the way, is a weird – I don't use that option. Do you talk to people through
I don't talk to anybody.
Instagram?
No, you know who I do that with?
Talk to you guys.
I do that with people that do it to me. Like I follow their lead,
Right.
and I'm like, well, if they do it, I'm gonna do it back. Like I have a couple international friends that do that, and it might be a foreign. You know what? It might be. Hold on. It might be an international, more foreign thing. Because on WhatsApp and a couple places, like I have a buddy that I went to high school with that lives in London, and all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, all right, Rico hit me up, and it'll be like, yo, what's up, Richie? How you doing, my man? And it'll be like, he'll record a message and send it. And one of our old bosses at ESPN used to do that as well.
You're not paying to make phone calls internationally, so this is your way of like quote unquote making a phone call, but not. Right?
Yeah, but like,
It's like a voicemail.
Spot. I get what you're saying. Like I've seen people do that where it's like, oh, I got a message, and they're texting you like to talk to like them speaking.
So this is my good friend Sergio, who I don't even know.
Hit it.
To my best friend Sergio. Ready? As of yesterday.
Steve, can we take a coffee together if I come to Los Angeles one day? Can we do? Can you spend 1 hour with me? We can talk about little boxing, little about life, little about Italy, little about Europe, little about women, little by little, you know? It would be nice. And of course, pussy. We have to talk about pussy. I love pussy, Steve. I cannot live without pussy.
He's right. He's right. I mean, the guy's right.
I love pussy.
And by the way, I did respond to that. I wrote,
Steve.
ha, 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 ha. I wrote, of course, Sergio. And then I hit him with a little compliment because he texted something about, like, you're a good man, Steve.
Steve.
I wrote, you're the real Italian stallion. Because remember, he commented on, oh, I love it, the Rocky Balboa. You know, yeah, he loves the boxing and the pussy.
Best friends, bro. You made a new friend.
Steve.
Hey, man, I may owe $37,000 in taxes. Got a fucking new friend. That's all that matters.
Hey, look at it that way.
And that's priceless.
Positives.
Yeah.
Positives. One other note before we get out of here, and we will we'll call it a day. 22 women have come forward against Deshaun Watson.
That's insane. That's like serial. What would you even call that? Harassment.
Yeah.
It's so weird to me because I am certainly not defending this guy, but there's a part of me that's like, they're all happy ending massages. So is everyone playing all righteous all at once, or was he going to legit spas? Because if it's all these happy ending places that are like, we're going to have our voice be heard.
Dude. I know there's conspiracy of like, oh, so he wants to leave Texas. Now all these stories are coming up. Yo, bro, where there's smoke, there's fire. 22 people? That's
Nike
a lot.
has
If it was
cut
like
their
one
ties.
or two people, 22 people, that's pretty significant.
Oh, look at that. He's no longer at Nike as of right now. They suspended their endorsement deal. Deshaun Watson has deals with Rolex, Snickers, and the Texas-based grocery store, H-E-B. Yeah, 22 civil lawsuits are now out there. One of the women, massage therapist Ashley Salas, made a tearful statement about her encounter with Watson, revealing herself as the Jane Doe behind the first suit filed against the Texans quarterback.
Wow.
Also revealed that Solis had given a statement to the Houston police, which has said it opened an investigation into criminal complaints against Deshaun Watson.
Just because you could throw a football doesn't mean you're a good guy, you know? And all these people that bought into him probably feel bad about that. Because you think that they are. So
no, I know. I'm
sad.
just saying, like, I guess I'm just saying nothing right about it. There's nothing right about it, I guess. I'm just saying that if it's a shady rub and tug, are people now capitalizing on the fact that it's Deshaun Watson? But then you could argue that a lot of those people are there not wanting to do this. Such a weird scenario.
What you're saying is, if it's a shady rub and tug, and Bart from Minnesota went there, he goes there with an expectation. Deshaun Watson went there with the same expectation. The only difference is he's got lots of money.
And the woman asked for $100,000 to settle before she did anything. So that makes you think, like, did she want money? But also a victim, because if she is a legitimate masseuse and the guy pulled out his dick,
well, that's the
then that
difference
is
here,
assault.
right?
So
that's the difference.
I don't know. It's like, listen, there's sensual massages like advertised everywhere. There's websites that cater to this. So I'm just saying it's always shady, because a lot of times these are sex workers. So you could argue that whole point of it, that just kills the whole argument of Deshaun Watson. Like, I don't care if it's a shady massage place. Those are illegal. And a lot of times the women are not there, willingly. But if he was going to rub and tugs, bad move on so many levels, being Deshaun Watson. Oh, hi, Spot.
Why didn't they do the same thing with Robert Kraft?
He did the same thing, but there weren't 22 people.
There wasn't all these other people that came at him afterward. Right?
I don't know. Listen, if there's a place in a strip mall,
I'm thinking maybe these were legitimate places. With Kraft, we were able to decipher immediately that this was a sketchy place he was at. So he didn't go there and have some sort of false expectation. Like, everybody knows why he was there, right? So what would the woman's claim be?
And you know what? You have to also. There's
I'm
another
having
level
to
where you have
assume that this is a story because these were reputable people.
There's another angle here where you have to interpret whether or not this is a willing sex worker versus someone that's there not willingly, right? Isn't that a big part of it?
Yeah. I mean, we don't know all the details, but 22 people is a lot.
A lot of times it's like, if it's a foreign sex worker, they're not there willingly, which is criminal. But then there's times where it's like, a girl advertising on Backpage, like, I give hand job massages. Like, isn't that a big difference?
Yeah. And, when you're a guy of that caliber, you also have to conduct yourself in a better way.
Isn't Jessica in Houston, who's like, I give like oil rub, sensual massages. Isn't that different than sex worker? I mean, big time, if you ask me.
What have you been up to?
But Spot, you don't know what I'm talking about? You playing dumb as well?
No. You mean as well? I'm not playing dumb.
Who's playing dumb?
I'm saying, like,
it's called a joke, Rich.
I'm saying in general, like, I mean, there's websites that are all about like guys getting happy ending massages. So let's not make it seem like a happy ending massage is like something we've never heard of.
Websites?
There's a big difference. There's a big difference between
massage. I don't remember getting a massage.
Boy, I'd hate to see your search history.
Backpage.
Creepo.
Houston.
All right.
You're driving to Houston for that? It's quite a hike, Rich.
Everyone can play dumb.
No one's playing dumb, man.
Just fucking.
Yeah, we agree.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying in general, people would be playing dumb because there's a big difference between the criminal act and the disgustingness of a woman doing something against her will versus, hey, my name's Stephanie, and like I give happy massages for $100 for 100 roses because they don't advertise. Like, why do you make it seem like?
But that's why I brought up Robert Kraft, right? Because there was no further speculation on his intent. There seems to be a lot more speculation here, and Kraft has more money than fucking Deshaun Watson.
It's the difference between getting a sex worker that willingly wants to do it or not. There's a huge difference in willingness.
Kraft did, and I don't know if that same willingness was the case with Deshaun Watson, which is why it's
the women are
big,
saying not willing.
right.
Then yes, but let's not make it seem like there's not willing sex workers and unwilling sex workers, because that is such a big difference. There's such a big difference between foreign person that is being like totally abused, right, in a terrible way, versus 23-year-old girl that's like, yeah, I'll jerk guys off and for money. Like, there's a big difference. Big difference. Willingness.
Big difference. So
I mean, how is that not obvious?
Yeah, it's a terrible story. So I don't know. Good luck with that.
All right. Well, listen, on that note, we'll see you guys mañana.
Yeah. Statute of limitations on ex-girlfriends and more Covino and Rich greatness. Thanks for all the feedback. Feedback and the show continues at Covino and Rich on social media. And again, be sure to sign up and tell your friends. Tell your friends too about Friday's free show on Twitch.
Yeah.
All right.
Friday, free show. More details we'll give you tomorrow. But don't forget, tomorrow, Patreon, Friday, free show. Have a good night. Arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land.
Goodbye.
Later, guys.
Did you say night?
Yeah, have a good night.
It's like afternoon. Okay, bye.
It's like lunchtime.
Bye, guys.